And good evening, everyone. Tom Walsh, Kevin Fitzsimmons, Chris Martinez. We are talking to you live from Ranger Stadium, the campus of Jesuit High School in Dallas, Texas. Tonight is a battle of the Jesuits, the Jesuit Rangers versus the New Orleans Jesuit Blue Jays. Kevin, great privilege to be with you tonight. Of course, I stood with your dad for 25 seasons calling these games here at Jesuit along with Chris Martinez. Tonight, we make our debut together. I know last week the Jesuit Rangers had a tough one against the Hebron Hawks. Tonight, they got to get the ship righted.
That's exactly right, Tom. Great to be here with you as well, and welcome to everybody to the broadcast. We're excited for a good game tonight.
Got it. Well, check that 11 p.m.
Sure, we can get back?
You're good. Keep going.
All right, welcome back. Tom Walsh, again, Kevin Fitzsimmons. So, Kevin, we just had a lightning strike sighted in the area. A little siren went off. That should delay us for about 30 minutes before we get this one started tonight. You know, they said that the 90-degree weather, 8-mile-per-hour wind, gusts coming in about from the east, could get up to 15 miles per hour for those gusts. Humidity's 53%, 45% chance of rain and thunderstorms at 11. But apparently we got some lightning in the area tonight, and we could really feel it when we were down the field earlier tonight visiting with the coaching staff.
You're exactly right, Tom, and looking over at the American flag there on the north end of the stadium, it's waving pretty good right now. Lots of fans still in the stadium, though, here in the seats as we await the Rangers to come out of the tunnel.
Yeah, so the Rangers want to get this home opener in. Let's recap briefly what happened last week. Jesuit went up to the Hebron Hawks. They were one of the top teams in the state of Texas last year. Of course, the Rangers very familiar with Hebron. Both teams graduated a lot of their skill players, but Hebron came loaded. They rolled to a 31-3 victory. But we saw some bright spots, Kevin, and I think the Rangers really are feeling pretty confident tonight. This Blue Jays team is very good, but why don't you take us back about last week?
That's right, Tom. Season opener, new teams getting to know each other. As you mentioned, both Jesuit and Hebron graduated over 40 seniors. So, of course, it's going to take a little bit of time for this group to gel together. Ranger offense still moved the ball, had some yardage, but couldn't quite get the ball into the end zone for touchdowns. I think they'll look to regroup tonight and do well here in the home opener against Jesuit New Orleans.
And we hope that the home opener is not delayed too much. If you're just joining us right now, they're just announcing, John Schmeltz over the public address announcer is announcing that because of the weather, because of some lightning that was spotted in the area, it was close enough where the siren went off, so that usually is a 30-minute delay. It reminds me with Chris Martinez, who I've been with for 28 seasons on these radio waves and broadcasting. Remember, Chris, we were over at Sherman, Texas, our first year, and we had a lot of lightning that night. But I remember one night we couldn't get it in against J.J. Pierce over in the Richardson. Well, we had one over in Richardson as well a couple of years ago, and we ended up having to play it on a Saturday. We came back the next day to play. We hope we don't have one of those nights tonight. Of course, New Orleans Jesuit may want to get back on the road. And Kevin, let's talk a little bit about New Orleans Jesuit. We have.
Hey, they can't hear us. I'm getting text from my mom. Just seeing the logo and it says 86 waiting. No nothing, no audio, no video.
Right.
Yeah. It says waiting for broadcast is what Chris Ackles just texted me. Just seeing the logo and it says 86 waiting. We're live.
It's not working on my phone.
Okay, what are you typing to get to it? What are you typing to get to it?
This website?
It's the redirect, the direct redirect from to our YouTube channel.
Nobody ever sent me a key. I'm not sending it to your YouTube channel. TR3.live/Jesuit.
Can we just?
but I can get it to YouTube. I can get it where he needs to, I think. So, I never got a key from you. If you can find it, yeah, if you can find it, maybe. Yeah. So, what we're gonna have to do then. Okay.
We'll start over.
Yeah, nobody heard anything. And
Yeah.
It's a lightning delay, so we got all kinds of time.
We can. Let's see. Maybe copy this.
Chris said, says he thinks people waiting.
All right, you're hot. We can't just do it on the fly, you know. You want to come in the press box? You guys want to come in the press box? Yeah. Caleb, come on. Come to the press box. Is the wind too strong for your camera up there? I mean, you tell me.
Mind if I just wait here?
Go ahead, you're good.
Hello. All right, folks, if you're listening right now on Tradio, we are in a lightning delay. Tom Walsh with Kevin Fitzsimmons, and so we're waiting for some of this to get sorted out. So stay tuned, and we will be back as soon as we are able with more information.
Okay, welcome into our pregame show sponsored by Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas and our community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screens at Barrel and Bones. Order online for delivery and use code Jesuit, Jesuit, for $5 off your order. Okay, well, Brian Henry joined by head coach Brandon Hickman. And coach, you've had a few days to digest the season opener. What do you think your team learned? How do you think they've responded in the few days since the game at Hebron?
I was happy when we turned on the film. I was happy with the way we played. I thought we played extremely hard. They had a really good team, and I knew they'd be really solid this year. But, we didn't play as well as we wanted to, obviously. We just had a couple mistakes and a couple drop balls, a couple offsides penalties. I didn't feel like we tackled great. But, when I turned the film on Friday night after the game, I was like, wow, our kids are really playing hard. So it's kind of the first game, I don't know if you want to call it jitters or first game varsity experience, that we had a couple guys out there the first time to play. And, there's one thing. Our guys are going to give good effort, and that was something that I saw on film, and I was so pleased with the effort that they gave. But it's just a couple missed opportunities. I think if we clean up, we have a chance to be in the ballgame.
Okay. Kind of turning the page now to preparation, first home game. That's got to make the guys excited. And then I guess a familiar opponent, having played Jesuit New Orleans down at their place last year.
Yeah, so, just being our first home game is really going to be awesome. Ranger Stadium, I think we're going to have a really good turnout there, our crowd always shows up. And, last year we played down in New Orleans. It was a lot of fun. It was a pretty good little road trip, especially on the way home. But we enjoyed having mass with their team and dinner. We plan on doing that this year, having mass this evening at St. Rita. And then we're going to cater dinner here in our cafeteria and have the kids sit together and get to know one another. And I think that's very important, that we're building community with our brother schools. So real excited about them coming down here playing. It's our first home game. I know the kids are excited to get back out there and play.
What did you see on film from the New Orleans squad? What do you remember from last year? They did win their first game 17-10 last week. What are you expecting to see out of them?
Well, they're well coached. They do a good job over there. Coach Manali and his staff. They've got guys on staff that have been there a long time. Every year they're in the hunt in their league, and they have a good, last year I know they made a pretty good little run, and they've got a good football team. They've got a couple of D linemen that are really solid. Their quarterback's back. He was a starter last year as a sophomore, so he was young. So I'm expecting a good team to come over here, and our guys are fired up to play. We had a solid week of practice, getting back to the basics, and our kids have responded well from last week, put it to bed, and move on. But yeah, we're fired up to play another Jesuit school. We don't do that very often. Back in the day, we'd play straight Jesuit, and now picking up New Orleans Jesuit has been nice, and this will probably be the last season that we end up playing them.
So you said guys are excited back in practice. What have you seen maybe from your leadership committee that's kind of been positive for you this week?
Yeah, just meeting with the captains yesterday and the kids, they're smart. They understand that, we had opportunities last week, and, this week's a new opportunity, right? You get to go out and play and try to patch up some mistakes and play with an intensity. And, that's something I think they're really looking forward to do. We have, I feel like we have really good leadership this year, from top to bottom. They're the four captains, but he stressed to me yesterday that we have a lot of leaders on the team, and that's something that you want as a head coach. You want other guys that are leaders, not just your captains. The more guys you can get, buying in and helping lead the team, the better. And I think our captains have done a really nice job of making everybody feel a part of the team, which is big. We do have 4 sophomores on the team that played some last week as well, and so that's really going to help us in the future.
This week you're probably able to get some sub-varsity games in. What does that mean for those those kids that kind of got weather lightning delayed out last week?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, those guys have been working hard since August, and they haven't played yet. They've been hitting each other, and so I think it's important that we get out and get a game-like situation under our belt with those younger players. Unfortunately, the lightning came last week, and the storm came in, and we weren't able to play the game, and so we haven't really played at all. So it'll be nice for our JV to play Saturday morning against New Orleans Jesuits JV. They're bringing their JV up here, and today we've got our blue team is playing against Frisco Lone Star, and then our white team is going to play Allen here at 4 o'clock out there at the Ranger Stadium. So unfortunately, the gold team can't get a game in. We tried to find games this summer and really over the past 2 weeks, and it's just hard to find games when you're playing a team out of state. And so we really struggled finding a freshman gold game, but those guys will probably get 9 games on the schedule anyway, and it should be really good, and it gives them 2 weeks to prepare for Highland Park.
Okay, so last thing before kickoff, what are your keys to a Jesuit Dallas victory?
Well, I think the biggest thing is eliminate the mistakes, take care of the ball. I think that's really big. You got to eliminate the mistakes. You can't have false start penalties. You got to take care of the football. And then the other thing I think is going to be tackle. We got to really tackle well. We got to get guys on the ground and create turnovers. And it's a pretty simple game. If you can block and tackle, take care of the football, create turnovers, you have a good chance. And then win the special teams portion of the game as well. So, I'm looking forward to getting out there and the guys getting out there and playing hard and playing against New Orleans Jesuit.
Okay, well, good luck, and we'll talk to you afterwards, hopefully with a victory.
All right, thank you.
This has been the Barrel and Bones pregame show.
I hear it. Good evening, everyone. Tom Walsh, Kevin Fitzsimmons, Chris Martinez. We welcome you to Jesuit Ranger Stadium on a night full of lightning in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but it has passed by, and you can see right now the teams coming back on the field. They're stretching, and we should have this one kicked off in the next 15 minutes. We bring in my broadcast partner, Kevin Fitzsimmons, a graduate of Jesuit's class of 2011. Kevin, great to be with you, and I'm excited about New Orleans Jesuit and Dallas Jesuit tonight.
Sight for sore eyes here, Tom, with all these folks coming back into the stadium. We didn't know how many people were still in the area, but a good number of fans walking back into the stadium trying to get a good seat. Both teams out on the field and warming up, and it looks like we're going to have some football here on Friday night in Texas.
So those of you that are wondering how it works, they have a 10-mile radius in each stadium. They've got weather radar, and there's a lightning strike zone on the radar, and it tracks where each lightning strike comes down, and as long as it stays more than 10 miles away, we are golden. We have been here ready to go on the air since 6:45 p.m. and the lightning would not subside. We got down to within 6 minutes at one point, Kevin, when all of a sudden another lightning strike came, and that set us back 30 minutes. But right now we are optimistic that we're going to get this one in tonight.
That's exactly right, Tom. I mean, just a long night here. You hope the teams can get back up for the game, get excited about the late start. I know that Jesuit schools both excited to play against each other this rivalry. They played last year as well down in New Orleans. Looks like the boys are getting hyped up and excited for the game here tonight.
Yeah, they are, Kevin. And let me just mention really quick a couple of our great sponsors, Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas and our community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screens at Barrel and Bones. You can listen to Kevin and Chris and me. Order online for delivery and use code Jesuit. That's Jesuit for $5 off your order. And of course, our title sponsor, the longtime title sponsor of our broadcast, Veritex Bank, who is proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Dallas Rangers. We share a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn how our shared values make Veritex Bank and Jesuit a winning team at www.veritexbank.com, member FDIC. Okay, Kevin, so you're a longtime veteran observer of the Jesuit Dallas Rangers, and we got two Jesuits tonight, so we'll try to call them Jesuit Dallas, Jesuit New Orleans, or the Rangers and the Blue Jays. The Rangers very anxious to get the home opener in tonight. They lost last week to Hebron 31-3. Hebron was a state quarterfinalist last year. They got to the Final Eight, so they were loaded, brought back a lot of talent, and they look like they're ready to make another deep playoff run. A little bit of a younger team. We've had Charlie Peters as our quarterback for the last couple of years here at Jesuit Dallas. And, we kind of take that for granted. He was a very steady player as a junior, good player as a senior, and now we're turning the reins over to another outstanding quarterback as well, and I'll let you give the introduction.
That's right, Tom. Number 9, Beck Berry, senior quarterback this year. We had a chance to talk about him in our first pregame, but let's talk about him again now the second time around. Beck Berry, Coach Hickman tells us, came up through the ranks here at Jesuit as a quarterback, freshman and sophomore year, playing on the freshman and the JV teams as quarterback. His junior season on the varsity, played mostly wide receiver last year. Coach Hickman trying to get him in on the field, tremendous athlete, absolutely somebody that we wanted to have on the field. Now in his senior season, he takes over again at the helm at quarterback. Had a pretty good night last week against Hebron, just couldn't quite get into the end zone. I know he in the Ranger offense will be excited tonight to get a second chance at home, see what we can do on this field here at Ranger Stadium.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it, Kevin, but Beck Berry did make some big plays last year, but it is a different position playing wide receiver versus quarterback. But Beck was a quarterback in the Dallas Parochial League, so he comes in with a lot of experience, and I think Coach Hickman is very high on this young man's potential, and he expects some great things out of him tonight. Now, I'll look out on the sideline where the officials are gathering, and just to their right, just to their west, I'm seeing the great Paul Waxman, who has been here for this is my 28th year of doing the Jesuit games with Chris Martinez, and Paul, one of the most beloved members of the Jesuit coaching staff. He's been out there for as long as I can remember.
That's absolutely right, Tom. Paul Waxman and Luke O'Brien are just absolute icons of this Jesuit Dallas football team, been on the sidelines for many years. Paul Waxman in the 57 jersey tonight in the middle of the captains as he goes out into the field. And that's been a tradition, that's a long-held tradition here at Jesuit, and we're proud to see it continue to this day.
Well, Kevin, you got Tanner Krug, one of the captains, Beck Berry, the quarterback. Also, you just mentioned Paul Waxman. Number 72, Luke Cutler, is one of our captains. And who's that last one? Is that number 4? Yes, it is. Is that Cade Kirby? Yes, Cade Kirby.
That's exactly right, Tom. 4 senior captains. Tanner Krug is the anchor of that defense on the defensive line. He's 6'6". Coach Hickman has talked about him being an absolute athlete, an ability to knock down passes on that end position, but also may see him a little bit in goal line offense this season as well.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. We were just talking right now about Cade Kirby in the small world category. His father and I were fraternity brothers at SMU. And on the other sideline for the Blue Jays, there's a young man who's one of their starting defensive ends, number 84, Will Berry. His father, also a fraternity brother of mine. So I've got 2 sons of my fraternity brothers from the 1980s at SMU squaring off here tonight, and that's always needed. I know that the fathers got together tonight, had a nice visit.
No surprise here that we have many connections to Tom Walsh in the arena.
We're going to pause now while we have our pregame prayer, and then we will have our national anthem, and we'll get this one started in just a moment as the New Orleans Jesuit Blue Jays come in from the south end zone wearing the white visiting jerseys with the blue pants. And the Jesuit Rangers tonight from Dallas Jesuit, the Rangers versus the Blue Jays. They've got the dark blue jerseys, the blue pants, the gold, of course, traditional helmets, and the gold numbers. One of my favorite outfit combinations. And we're going to pause right now for our pregame prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Gracious God, in you we live and move and have our being, and we give praise to you for your great glory. We gather together from Louisiana and Texas as one Jesuit family, united by a charism and tradition that bears the name of your Son, Jesus, who promises us that whoever loves me will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our dwelling with him. As sons of St. Ignatius, we rejoice that Carlo Acutis, a student at the Jesuit High School in Milan, will be proclaimed a saint by Pope Leo this weekend. His life is not only a witness to the miracles that you work through those in whom you dwell, but also a promise that you still work miracles through students of Jesuit schools to this very day. Through his intercession and that of St. Aloysius Gonzaga and all the Jesuit saints, help us to live from the fullness of life that you offer, so that in a spirit of fellowship and sportsmanship, we might challenge one another to be our best selves, not only on the field, but above all in the nobility to which you call us through the care that we show for one another. We ask you, gracious God, to bless all of us gathered here tonight. May your Holy Spirit strengthen the athletes and all who support them, keep them safe from injury and harm, instill in them respect for each other, and reward them for their perseverance. Through the intercession of our Mother and our Queen, may you bless all our families and our friends, bless also our enemies, and help us to become friends by your grace, that we might build a community of love and peace, and so witness to your life in our midst. We ask this as we ask all things, in your Son's most holy name. Amen.
All
In the
right.
name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
That was Father Sylvester Tan. We hope you heard on our field mic, our ambient mic out there. Father Sylvester is the rector, the superior of the Jesuit community here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we're now going to pause one more time for our national anthem. All right, welcome back. Tom Walsh, Kevin Fitzsimmons, Chris Martinez. And the Jesuit Rangers are hosting the New Orleans Jesuit Blue Jays. They've come in from the great city of New Orleans, and we were talking to my friend Byron Berry, Kevin, before the game, whose son, Will Berry, is one of the starting defensive linemen. He's going to Princeton. He'll be matriculating next 4 years at Princeton. So, as I said to Byron, I know that he gets those smarts from his mother's side of the family, and I said that, of course, with a smile on my face. Byron's a great guy. And he gave us a lot of good information about New Orleans Jesuits. So they play in the division, the district, if you will, that is probably known as the SEC of Louisiana. All the teams, both public and private, play together during the regular season, and then they will divide up in the playoffs. They have a select division and a kind of a regular division. New Orleans Jesuit will play in the select division, but it is a power. Every team on their schedule is tough, and we're ready to kick things off. Jesuit will go right to left on your video, and they'll be coming out of the south end zone. The wind has really died down, Kevin. We were walking on the field before the game at about 6 o'clock tonight. It was a really gusty, about 15 miles an hour, maybe 18 miles an hour at one point, but now no wind.
Turned into a beautiful night here for football, Tom. We're really looking like it's going to be a great evening for the rest of the night. As Jesuit gets off to kick here, it's number 17, Cooper Magoo will kick it back. Number 2, Jair Burks for the New Orleans Blue Jays is back to receive.
So Jair Burks is a wide receiver. We expect to call his name a lot tonight. There's the kick. And it's going to be returnable, taken at about the 5-yard line. And he took a knee, and that's where the Blue Jays will have to scrimmage, as the receiver went to his knee to make sure he had it, but that blows the play dead, and that's going to be a bind, as they will have 95 yards to pay dirt to start off this game. This is their first game, by the way, Kevin. They played what they call a jamboree last week. They won 17-10, did the Blue Jays, but it was only a half a game, so that's one of those trying to make a careful play, but his knee touched the grass.
Absolutely, Tom. This game is really the first test for the Blue Jays as they work together. Like you said, number 26, Michael Cerruti that time tried to make the catch, ended up going to the ground, and now it's a long field of play for the Blue Jays.
Taylor Norton is the quarterback for the Blue Jays. They will scrimmage from the left hash, 2 wide receivers right and 2 to the left. Norton back to pass, looking right, swings it out, ball is caught, quickly dropped at about the 12-yard line as the ball was complete to number 6, Neff. Benjamin Neff, as Jack Beret made the tackle for Jesuit.
Good coverage that time. A quick throw out to the right for the quarterback, but Beret gets there at 2nd down, Blue Jays.
2nd and 10. If you're just joining us, we're just underway here at Ranger Stadium, and there's some movement on the right side of the line, and both the right guard and the right tackle moved, Kevin, so maybe that may have been where the center just held it a little bit too long, but that's going to cost him 5 yards back to the 7-yard line.
The Jesuit linemen and linebackers excited, clapping about that one, Tom. I think it was number 8, Gabriel James, looked like he was getting ready to blitz, and the offensive line jumped offside.
Yeah, Gabriel James, what a campaign he had last year as a junior. We're looking for great things from him this year as well. Handoff, little delay, left side, back out to about the 12 where they were before they lost the 5 yards. And that's going to bring up a third down and short.
It was Gabriel James and also number 14, Joe Norman on the tackle that time for the Rangers. 3rd and short. Let's see if the defense brings some pressure.
Just underway, 11:02 to go, first quarter, no score. Ball's on the right hash, back to pass. Ball thrown and picked off at the 10, the 5. He'll go in for the score. Touchdown, Jesuit. Joe Norman takes it in, and the Rangers have struck first. What an opportunistic play.
Joe Norman that time, a great read, slid out to his right. He was the inside linebacker. Quarterback tried to get rid of it quickly, picked it off. No touch on the way into the end zone. And now Jesuit looks to do a swinging gate here on this first PAT, Tom.
Yeah, I think the coaches put this in tonight. They wanted to kind of see what kind of a look they got from the Blue Jays, and let's see if the Rangers will stay in this formation. They're up 6-0 after the Norman pick 6 to go back. So there's 3 players. 1 man comes in motion. The center, is he going to snap it? Yes, he is. And the Rangers will roll right, and they're defended pretty well by the Blue Jays, and there will not be any points as the 2-point conversion will fail as a tackle was made by Austin Guidry, and it's 6-0.
Coach Hickman talked to us before the game, Tom, about this swinging gate formation they're going to try on a lot of PATs. That time Jesuit's line was out to the left side of the hash. It was only the snapper, 1 other man, and Beck Berry back there. That time Berry tried to run it in. It was well covered by the New Orleans Blue Jays.
So Austin Guidry made the play for the Blue Jays. And the Rangers get on the board quick with the Norman pick 6. That puts the Jesuit Rangers up 6-0. Joe Norman, a 5'10", 175-pound senior linebacker, puts the Rangers in. You know, those sudden change plays are so big, Kevin.
It's got to feel great, I think, for this Jesuit Dallas team to get on the board early, especially with a defensive score, take some pressure off of Beck Berry and this offense. And now we'll see something we just saw a few minutes ago as Cooper Magoo goes out for another kickoff, and number 2, Jair Burks, back to receive this time. Let's see if they kick it to him or stay away.
Yeah, they kicked it away from him last time as they went to, you said Cerruti. Here comes the kick from Magoo, and it is going to be a line drive kick and not returnable. So this time, the Blue Jays will take it out with decent field position after the touchback, but the Jesuit Ranger defense has got to be energized after the Norman pick 6. 10:49 to go here in the first quarter of play. If you're just joining us, we had an extensive lightning delay tonight. We were supposed to kick at 7 o'clock, but instead, we did not kick this one off till almost 9. We expect a very shortened halftime. They're going to try to get this one in well before midnight. First down, 10 for the Blue Jays. Ball's in the center of the field at their own 25-yard line. Jesuits showing press coverage now in the slot. Handoff, left side. The Rangers do a good job of stringing it out. A good little push there for about 3 yards up to the 28-yard line as Cooper Patton made the tackle for Jesuit.
It was number 20 that time for the New Orleans Blue Jays, Gavin Palmisano. Really patient as he got to the line of scrimmage, just not much there. Jesuit that time did it. Jesuit Dallas did a good job that time on the coverage.
Yeah, we really expect to call Palmisano's name a lot tonight. Second down, we'll call it 7 from the 28-yard line. Back to pass, they'll swing it out right side. Man caught up near the sticks. Looks like he's got a first down. His second catch of the night for Benjamin Neff. Jackson Gare made the tackle for Jesuit.
Zone coverage that time for the Rangers. Just a quick, easy throw. You can tell they're trying to get Norton into some rhythm after the pick on the first drive. Completes it that time. It's yards after the catch and a first down for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Taylor Norton, nice quick delivery, had his man out in space. He did the rest with his legs. 1st and 10 from the Blue Jays 35-yard line. It's 6-0 Dallas Jesuit. Ball is swung out right side, caught up just beyond the 40-yard line to about the 41-yard line as that ball was brought in by Gavin Palmisano again. Cade Westmuller made the tackle for Jesuit.
Jesuit brought pressure that time from the left side of the defensive line. Again, a quick throw out for Norton and some yards after the catch for a good gain on first down.
Norton goes 2 wide receivers each way. Palmisano just made the last catch, standing to the right side, and Palmisano will get the carry again, and a nice job by the Jesuit Ranger defense. They brought him down for no gain. Westmuller again made the tackle for Jesuit. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3.5, Kevin.
It was Cole Johnson that time who got into the backfield from that left end position. Nowhere to go for the running back Palmisano, and Jesuit defense here creates a 3rd down and short.
3rd and about 3 from the 41.5-yard line. Big play for the Jays. Back to pass. Ball thrown. Has a man out there. It's incomplete. Oh, it was just off the receiver to his left. And that is a break the Rangers caught because he was out. He makes that catch, Kevin. I think he's in the end zone. So the Rangers catch a break on that one.
As you mentioned, Tom, fortunate that time. It looks like there was good pressure by Tanner Krug on that defensive line. Norton a little rushed on the throw and could not make the completion. Now the punting unit comes on for the Blue Jays.
So the Jesuit Rangers back to receive. Who do we got back there, Kevin?
That looks like it's Andres Van for the Rangers back to receive the punt, Tom.
All right, Andres Van standing at about his 21-yard line. There's the snap. Good snap. Kick is off to the right side. Goes out of bounds. Let's see where the official will mark it. It'll be up at about the 30-something yard line. He's still going near, looks like he's near about the 35. We'll see where the sticks go down, but the Rangers will take over for the first offensive series of the night. The Rangers lead 6-0 with 8:35 to go in the first quarter.
Good opportunity now for this Ranger offense to come in under control. Again, no pressure. You're up 6-0. Let's see what number 9 quarterback Beck Berry and this Ranger offense have cooked up for their first drive of the night.
Well, Beck Berry, again, he is a veteran quarterback back from his DPL days. Played wide receiver last year, and he was a good runner, and he's going to run this one right side. Gets a couple blocks and gets a good gain. Out beyond the 40-yard line. We'll see where they mark him down. Looks like at about the 41-yard line, so Berry does it with his feet.
A good confidence booster that time for Beck Berry to settle in. 2 wide receivers out right. They both got a great block, and Beck Berry gets a good gain on first down. Now it's 2nd and short. Jesuit has a little bit more options on the offensive side of the ball as they bring in the play.
So looks like Kirby's going out wide to the left side. Single coverage right now. Second offensive snap for the Rangers. Clock running. There'll be about 8 minutes when this ball is snapped, and that's what it is. Handoff. Not much running room there. Good second effort. He's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down, Kevin, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Rangers.
Yeah, running back that time was number 20 for the Rangers, Ty DeBow. Didn't have much room as he tried to break through the hole. It looks like the Rangers will have a 3rd and short, and we'll see if the Blue Jays decide to bring pressure.
Yep. So that was Booty that made the tackle. 3rd down and 2 from the 43-yard line. Jesuit with their first offensive series of the night. 7:25, clock is moving. We're glad you're with us tonight. Beckberry throws it outside, has the catch. First down up near midfield. And the Rangers will move the sticks. Good, easy throw, good catch. And they accomplished what they wanted to do as the tackle was made by Bo Matuliski.
Number 81, Corson Lindley, up at the top of your screen that time. We'll see a lot of Lindley tonight, Tom, because starter number 1, Harlan Buechler, out with an injury this evening. So hopefully that's the first of many times we get to call Lindley's name tonight.
Yeah, nice little pattern. Good job by Barry to quickly make the throw. Rangers are leading 6-0. Joe Norman with the pick 6 to get things started on the first Blue Jays possession of the night. Here comes a man in motion. Handoff up the middle again. Jesuit trying to establish something between the tackles, Kevin, and nothing there, maybe about a half a yard, and that is it.
Yeah, a little bit of a different formation so far for the Rangers tonight than we saw last week against Hebron. You'll see number 2, Lucas Mayer, kind of setting up in an H-back position, but that's number 20, Ty DeBow, the second-string running back who's back there in the backfield. That time Shane Parker came across, trying to create a little bit of misdirection, but as you said, Tom, nothing doing so far on the ground for the Rangers.
Bergal made the tackle for the Blue Jays. So Jesuit Rangers have 2nd down and 9. Timeout is called by Jesuit, and we will keep it here. And Kevin, that'll allow us to recognize our title sponsor, Veritex Bank. Veritex Bank is proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Dallas Rangers. We share a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn our shared values and how they make Veritex Bank and Jesuit a winning team at www.veritexbank.com. Member FDIC. So Kevin, you got to be pretty happy with what you're seeing from Jesuit right now on both sides of the ball.
An optimistic start for the Rangers. You're absolutely right, Tom. Even though we haven't had any major plays yet on the offensive side, we're moving the ball well. We got first downs, and now we'll have an opportunity to see what this offense can do either through the air or through the ground game. It looked like Coach Hinton, a few other coaches that time, were out on the field during the timeout. We've been told by Coach Radican and Coach Livingston, offensive coordinators, that there's a new play calling system the Rangers are using on watches, and we'll watch out for that tonight to see if there's any more technical issues.
The Rangers go empty, no one in the backfield except for Barry. 5 wide receivers, he'll throw it to Kirby, he's got it, and he's inside the 45-yard line to the 44-yard line of the Blue Jays. So Cade Kirby, one of the captains, brings that one in as Bo Matuleski makes the tackle, and the Rangers go hurry up. 3rd down and 2. They hand that one off Shane Parker, and I don't think he got there, Kevin. He's about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 short. I'm not sure if he didn't lose a half a yard, and the Rangers left 4th down at about 2 from the 45.
Rangers had 3rd and short. They tried to go hurry up that time. It didn't work, and now they're in no man's land here in the middle of the field. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
4th down and 2 from the 45-yard line. 2 men in the backfield with Beck Barry, 2 wide receivers to the right. That is Kirby wide left, single coverage. You would think the Rangers will look something short or keep it on the ground on 4th and 2. And they're looking short. It's fired, and it is caught for a 1st down just beyond the sticks. Nice throw by Barry. Boy, he threw it into some traffic. And Perry was on the coverage, but the Rangers moved the sticks.
Corson Lindley that time again up at the top of the screen. It's exactly how you're supposed to run the route, Tom, right to the yard marker. Caught it, went down. It's a good spot, and the Rangers get the 1st down.
1st down 10. Jesuit up 6-0 with 4:52 to go here in the first quarter of play. Joe Norman got the Rangers on the board with a 14-yard return on the pick 6. Here comes a little Shane Parker in motion. They flip it to him. He'll get a short gain to about the 40-yard line. The word I always talk about with Shane Parker is he is electric. Short gain, but he is a threat to take it to the house as McSpadden took him down on the tackle.
That same formation we talked about just a couple plays ago, Tom. As you can see here, number 7, Parker makes a nice move. It's a couple of Blue Jays in on the tackle, short gain for the Rangers.
Yeah, I love the replay. Beck Barry rolling right. Here comes the pressure, and he does a good job just to throw it away. Now that's a veteran move right there. He was under some duress, and rather than take the sack, he got out of the pocket, got it past the line of scrimmage. Harry Irwin was one of those Blue Jays that was in pursuit.
Austin Guidry that time as well from the defensive line. So the Blue Jays brought pressure, and now it's a 3rd and long for the Rangers.
10th play of the drive upcoming for Jesuit. The great Chris Martinez. Always taking care of us up here, been a part of our broadcast for 28 years, a member of the Jesuit class of 1978. 1st, 3rd and long the Rangers will face tonight at the Blue Jay 40. Empty backfield. Barry looking over the middle, hasn't caught it, comes loose, It was originally, I thought, complete. He never got, I think that was Shane Parker, never got it really able to secure it, and that's going to bring up 4th and 8. And you're kind of in that no man's land where I think the Rangers are going to go for it.
2 wide receivers on each side that time. Tried to bring him across. Barry looking for Parker across the middle. Couldn't quite complete it. And another 4th down now for the Rangers where they'll go for it.
4th down and 8 from the 40-yard line. Beck Barry may do a little quick kick here, and that's what he'll do. We've seen that. It may get into the end zone, though, and it does. We've seen the Rangers do that over the years to perfection. He just took that subtle step back, which after 28 years of doing these games, Kevin, I recognized we had a quick kick coming, but he had a little too much air under that one and into the end zone. So the Blue Jays defense, they bend, but they do not break. They stop the Rangers' drive, and they give the ball back to their offense now, only trailing by 1 score. Now, Kevin, last year at New Orleans, we went down there. It was a very tough, hard-fought game. Both teams played well. 28-20 Jesuit. Dallas won over Jesuit New Orleans. And you know that the Blue Jays are looking to extract a little revenge tonight.
Absolutely, especially on the Rangers' home turf. Like you said, we got the Blue Jays last year on their home turf, and here they come for us this year.
Back to pass. He'll pump it once, pull it back, and fire it long. Has a man wide open at the 30. Down the left sideline, the Blue Jays. Little bit of busted coverage, I think, in the Rangers secondary. He was wide open. And a big play down into Jesuit territory. Okay, it's a big play for the Blue Jays. They're inside Jesuit territory on the 20. Little delayed handoff. They get a push. They're still trying to get the chain set on the left side. They weren't even set when they ran that play. Looks like he picked up about 7.
Paul Masano on the carrier. Simon McGoldrick. Cole Johnson combined on the tackle.
2nd down and 4.
2nd down.
Inside the Jesuit 25-yard line. They had the last yard line up on the scoreboard incorrectly. They swing it out to the right side. Ball is caught. That's Benjamin Neff again. 3rd catch of the night for Neff. And it looks like he's going to be short of the sticks by a couple of yards as Gabe Wissmuller made the tackle.
Neff with the reception brought down by Gabe Wissmuller. 22-yard line now. 3rd down, Jesuit New Orleans.
All right, 3rd down and about 2. Right hash. 1 man in the backfield, 2 wide receivers split each way. Play action. They'll fire it. Little slant, caught. 1st down, still on his feet. And he will go in for the score. And the Blue Jays have struck pay dirt. A 22-yard scoring strike.
We score now. Jesuit Dallas 6, Blue Jays 6.
We are tied at 6 with 2:35 to go in the first quarter of play. Benjamin Neff on his 4th reception of the night, his 4th catch. And the Blue Jays now have a chance to take the lead as the extra point is up, and it is good. The kicker is Ethan Cabos. And with 2:35 to go in the first quarter, the Blue Jays have gone out in front 7-6. So, Kevin, my goodness. A long play down the left side, a little bit of busted coverage, but busted coverage or not, the ball was thrown on the money. A perfect throw. And now the Blue Jays lead 7-6. If you're just joining us and you're wondering how much time, is this one almost over? No, it's just now beginning. 2:35 to go in the first quarter. We had a long lightning delay as the Blue Jays lead the Rangers 7-6. We did not kick this one off till almost 9 o'clock tonight. The Vanguard Auto Group is our scoring sponsor this year. And Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers.
That time is a quick drive by the Blue Jays, Tom. 4 plays, 80 yards, 1 minute and 22 seconds. It's Neff with a 22-yard reception from Norton, and now it's 7-6 Blue Jays.
We got the great Carson Long. Carson, are you a Jesuit senior this year? A Jesuit senior. Been up here for how many years with us? All 4 of his years. I had to ask the question. I think he may have even been up here as an 8th grader. He's been here forever. One of the best we've ever had, Carson Long. Of course, I'm friends with his mom. We used to work together, and he's been up here helping us in the booth. There's the kick. It's returnable from the 1-yard line. Coming straight up the field, looking for a block, makes a move, gets away from one Blue Jay tackler, and will make a pretty nice return. And the Rangers will scrimmage as that ball was kicked to about the 1-yard line.
It was Cade Berry that time on the return for the Rangers. Brings it out almost all the way to the 20. Looks like he'll be just past the 25-yard line.
All right, 2:28 to go, first quarter. Jesuit, the last time they had the ball, their first offensive possession, they got down to the Blue Jay 40 when the drive stalled. A quick kick went into the end zone. And then a very quick summary. You just heard that scoring summary that Kevin Fitzsimmons told us. The Rangers will swing it out to Shane Parker again, and you can see just how electric this young man is. He's up to about the 34-yard line. We love seeing number 7 with the ball in his hands.
Like lightning, as soon as he catches it, Tom, it's a quick pass outside that time by Berry. They wanted to get Shane Parker in some space.
McSpadden made the tackle for the Blue Jays. Handoff, left side. Get away from one would-be tackler, but not the second. The white jerseys are flying all around the ball as Lucas Mayer was on that carry, and that was Burrigow who made the tackle for the Blue Jays. Boy, their defense looks stout on the run defense.
Good coverage that time, Tom.
3rd and 10, Berry, play action, swings it out, and it's incomplete. Tried to hit Mayer, and it went through his hands. They tried to do a little bit of misdirection. They pulled it out on a potential handoff. Berry quickly got it out to Mayer. He has a little bit of real estate out in front, Kevin, but it goes incomplete. And now it's 2nd down, 1:49 to go here in the first quarter. Jesuit Dallas trails 7-6 to the Blue Jays from New Orleans.
Ty DeBow back in the backfield for the Rangers.
There's the snap. Ball's thrown over the middle, caught! First down up to the 49-yard line. Cade Kirby, the captain, from another captain, as Burrigow made the tackle for the Blue Jays.
Rangers are going hurry up again now to the line quickly, trying to put some pressure on this Blue Jay defense.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. There's that little wide receiver bubble screen. They love to run. Kirby takes it into Blue Jay territory, but that was defended very, very well by McSpadden. Also, that was Logan Booty that made the tackle for the Blue Jays after a gain of about 4. Maybe call it 3, Kevin.
Offensive lineman Ben Bumgardner and Thomas Andrews out there trying to get out to block. Didn't quite have enough space for Kirby to make it through.
2nd down, 7. They look to the sideline. They do have the wristbands you were telling me about when they go hurry up tempo. They don't use the wristbands. Berry goes left side, and again, that very tough defense on the run defense from the Blue Jays. They do the pursuit very well. Jack McGuire made the tackle, and really no gain. Is going to bring up 3rd down and about 7 for Jesuit Dallas.
Boy, McGuire that time came out of the secondary as the safety all the way down, made it to the line of scrimmage, beat Berry there. So that was a great pursuit from the safety there for the Blue Jays that time, and it creates a 3rd down for the Rangers.
3rd down and 7, just inside Blue Jay territory for the Rangers. Let's see what they can do. They go empty backfield. They hit Kirby, and he's going to be very close to a 1st down. Let's see where they marked him out of bounds. It's the 42-yard line. They may have to measure that. I thought he got a little bit beyond the 42. Now they're going to say he does have the 1st down. They're moving the sticks.
Cade Kirby been a consistent target so far tonight for Beck Berry already, Tom, and that time he does a good job to catch the ball, stay in bounds, and get an extra yard afterwards to make the 1st down.
We hope you're enjoying our broadcast tonight. Tom Walsh, Kevin Fitzsimmons, Chris Martinez, Carson Long, Jesuit Senior. The Rangers just moved the chains. 1st and 10 from the Blue Jay 42. And just nothing doing there. And boy, the lateral pursuit from the Blue Jays is impressive. as there was no gain as the tackle was made by Austin Guidry.
Brought Shane Parker again on that little misdirection, Tom. And now time is run out here on this first quarter as the Rangers trail the Blue Jays 6-7 after a pretty exciting first quarter, Tom. Lots of good offense that we saw there in the first few minutes.
Yeah, it is indeed. And so just to remind everybody, we had an extensive lightning delay tonight. We were supposed to kick off at 7 o'clock. We instead kicked off at 9 o'clock. And we are appreciative of all of you that are listening tonight. The video quality is outstanding. And we hope you're enjoying our new partnership here. And Kevin, go ahead.
As we wrap up the first quarter, just want to thank our first quarter sponsor, Tom, the UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center, your home team for cancer care with locations around the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
So if you're just joining us, we're about to start the second quarter. It's 7-6. New Orleans Jesuit over your Jesuit Dallas Rangers. And what I've seen tonight from the Blue Jays defense is they are an excellent run-stopping team. They have great pursuit. They got some big bodies inside. One of them is number 84, Will Berry, who I was telling you about. He's one of my good friends from college, son. Will Berry is 6'4", 260, and he'll be going to Princeton next year. So not only an excellent football player, but he's an excellent student as well. And then Cade Kirby has been outstanding on offense for the Jesuit Rangers.
It's a trademark of Jesuit schools, Tom, both athletics and academics, high caliber.
Kirby's got 4 catches tonight. So second down 10 after Matthews was held to no gain just inside the 45. Back to pass, Barry. He'll throw it over the middle, and it's almost picked off. Boy, it was close. And the defender got there at the exact same time as the receiver. That was Bo Matalulewski, and he made a great play, and it goes incomplete. This will be the 10th play of the drive upcoming for Jesuit Dallas.
A little bit of a dangerous throw that time over the middle by Barry. Parker can't quite come down with it, but was fortunate to stop a little bit short of the defender who was there well in time to knock that ball to the ground.
Yeah, and we've called Matalewski's name a couple of times tonight. The Blue Jays are showing blitz. Jesuit still has plenty of time on the play clock. Just underway, second quarter. Third down and 10. There is one back in the backfield with Barry. He has got 4 receivers, 2 each way. He'll swing it out, little slant pattern. It's complete. Running after the catch, and he's going to be very close to the sticks. And I think just based on the spot from the far side of the field, it looks like he may have the first down.
No surprise that time, Tom, who they went to. That's number 4, Cade Kirby, with his 5th catch of the night. And it looks like it's going to be extremely short distance here, 4th and short for the Rangers.
Yeah, just about a half a yard short. They're trying to do that push, and boy, it's going to be close depending on the spot. Based on where the official came running in, he had to run around Kirby and kind of lost his line for a minute. How you doing? Boy, it's going to be close. Let's see where they mark him down. Dallas Jesuit did not get much of a push on that, and it looks like he's going to be short.
Yeah, the referee comes in and assesses what's going on in the pile down there, ultimately makes the decision that Beck Berry did not get there on the quarterback sneak. It's the second time now, Tom, that we've seen the Rangers come up very quickly to the line of scrimmage after a big gain when they're trying to catch the defense off guard, and that time the Blue Jays were not fooled.
Yeah, we've talked about their run defense being stout. So 7-6 your score. The Blue Jays back on offense, 7-6 in the backfield. They will have Michael Cerruti. So Cerruti is the lone back, 2 wide receivers, almost stacked one behind the other. There's the snap. Play action. Back to pass, good protection, going deep, has a man deep out there. It's caught inside the 20, inside the 17-yard line. Single coverage, and Jair Burks made the reception for the Blue Jays, but what a ball that Taylor Norton laid out there. Single coverage by Jack Beret.
A great job that time by the Blue Jays. A nice route scheme where those 2 receivers were going right next to each other and then broke off to the side. Burks was open that time down the middle.
Yeah, and that was a 51-yard strike. And they'll take it back, throw it right side as they fake the run. And the ball looks like it was caught. I think it was. They got a good spot. Let's see where they're going to mark him down.
Looks like he got out,
it looks
out
like
of
Neff,
bounds.
yeah, Neff made the catch. I think that may be his 6th catch of the night.
Yeah, Tom, that was a great out route that time. Again, the Blue Jays, similar to the Rangers, going quickly after they have a big gain, trying to catch the defense off guard.
Yeah, that's the 5th catch of the night for Neff. So Cerruti's in the backfield as the lone back with Taylor Norton. 2 wide receivers left, 2 right. Play action. But he's hit as he throws, and he delivers a strike. It's incomplete. Wow. Taylor Norton hung tough in the pocket. He took a shot. He got rid of it. Joe Norman just got there. The receiver was not able to bring it in, but so impressed how Norton hung tough and delivered that ball. Could have been a touchdown.
Tight cover one that time by the Rangers on defense, Tom. It's number 14, Joe Norman, who had the pick 6 in the first quarter, delivers an absolute shot on Norton that time. I definitely have to say that affected the throw. And now it's 3rd down and short for the Blue Jays.
Third down at about 3.5. Back to pass. Pump fake. Throw. Incomplete. He threw it high. Norton was looking for Roman Lawray, and it goes incomplete. They'll bring on the kicking chores. Their kicker is a good one. That is Ethan Cabos. He's a senior. We saw him a minute ago. They're going to see where they're going to mark this one down. Looks like it's going to be about a 29-yard field goal try from the right hash.
There's great pressure that time from the Rangers, and the ball's overthrown. Here comes the field goal attempt from Cabos.
The kick is up, plenty of leg, and it's good. So Cabos puts it through, and the Blue Jays extend their lead to 10-6. So Jesuit, New Orleans, has gotten a couple of big strikes tonight. They just had a 51-yarder on that drive. They'll settle for the 29-yard field goal. So the Jesuit Dallas defense bends a little bit but does not break. They only yield the field goal. Still a one-score game with 10:15 to go in the second quarter. So I want to take a minute and acknowledge something, folks. I am here with my great friend Kevin Fitzsimmons. For any of you that have been listening for the last 28 years, you know that for 25 of those years, Jack Fitzsimmons, his father, was my longtime partner along with Chris Martinez. Kevin, it is so great to have you step into the booth with us. I hope that you do this for the next 25 years. I'll be listening.
Thanks so much, Tom. Very special night to be here with you, especially after you and Dad, Chris, had so many calls together for many, many years up in this booth and lots of other booths across the North Texas area. And just grateful to be here with you tonight on a beautiful night for Ranger football. Scoring drive there that time, 5 plays, 56 yards, 1:10. It's capped off by the 39-yard field goal by Cabos. It's 10-6 now, Blue Jays.
I got to tell you, Kevin, you're just a natural, just like your dad was, and I could see you doing this for a long, long time. I'm so glad the Jesuit community gets to have the gifts of your presence with Chris and me, and of course, the wonderful young man Carson Long. So 10-6, the Blue Jays kick it away, and that's going to be returnable from about the 4-yard line to the 10, 15, 20, has a seam to the 28, and up near the 30-yard line. So for a minute, it looked like they had a little bit of a bigger seam, but it quickly closed. Andres Van made the return, and the Jesuit Rangers will start at their own 30-yard line. James Toops made the tackle.
Looked like Van maybe had a little bit of an extra set of room, like you said, Tom, but he's tackled there at the 30. Want to say real quick, our scoring summary sponsor, the Vanguard Auto Group. Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers.
All right, two backs in the backfield. Play action. Barry, he'll look over the middle, and it's incomplete. There's the flag. I thought Kirby, it was a low throw, but Kirby was hit a little bit early before the ball got there, and the Rangers will get a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Yeah, it was a good route that time. 2 receivers in range, it looked like, for Jesuit. As Barry drops back to throw, you can see across the middle there's a little bit of a hold on the backside, and Kirby goes down. It'll be J.P. Livingston now, we're told. Chris Martinez tells us is in at quarterback for the Rangers. Tom, that's sophomore backup quarterback Livingston in now.
All right, well, good eyes by you. So Livingston is in the ball game. 1st and 10 for Jesuit. Dallas Jesuit at their own 40-yard line after the pass interference penalty. There's the snap, back to pass. Little bubble screen, it goes incomplete. They love to run that play here at Jesuit Dallas. The intended receiver was Corson Lindley, and it goes incomplete.
Ball just a little behind Lindley that time, had some good blockers out in front. Can't come down with it. But it'll be interesting to see Livingston now, Tom, here in his first drive for the Rangers. They did this a little bit last week as well against Hebron. I'll tell you what, J.P. Livingston not afraid to throw the ball downfield. Let's see if they let him air it out tonight against this Blue Jay defense.
Yeah, and I think he's related to the Longhorn wide receiver that caught the touchdown last week against Ohio State. Back to pass. The ball is thrown a little bit too much air under that one. It was airmailed out to the left side. Had a couple of Jesuit Rangers in the zip code, but not able to connect. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
That's right, Tom. Maybe a little bit of pressure that time for the Rangers. Let's see here what they do on 3rd down. It's a 3rd and long situation. Are the Blue Jays going to bring pressure here to make Livingston have to think about this before he gets the ball out of his hands?
3rd and 10 from the 40-yard line. South Lake Carroll leads Hebron 35-7. Another scores going on right now. Other games going on. Back to pass. Looking deep. It's thrown high again. Well, he hung in the pocket under some pressure. Had one receiver out. I think that was Kirby, but it goes incomplete.
Good coverage that time deep for the Blue Jays. You had Jack McGuire back there ready to knock down the passes, just a little overthrown. So the Rangers a little short on their drive that time. They're about the 40-yard line, and the punting unit comes on. It's Cooper Magoo, who's both the punter and the place kicker for the Rangers this year.
Yeah, and I believe he's the younger brother of Noah.
That's exactly
who's
right.
Our kicker for the last couple of years. So punting time, so the Jesuit offense has stalled on their 3 drives. Give credit to the Blue Jays defense. They've been stout. There's a good snap, and the kick is away. End over end. It's going to be returnable at the 25-yard line. Goes to the right side. Tries to pick up a block. Gets one, and is going to be taken down after a short return. He's got some speed. You can see that Roman Lawray is dangerous in the open field. Good tackle that made out there. Looks like, I think he got about maybe 8 or so on the return. We'll see where they mark him down from the far side of the field. There's kind of a glare on the field tonight, isn't there?
A little bit, Tom, from those lights on Friday night, a little bit later than we're used to being here at the stadium. It was number 3, Krug, who made the tackle. But it looks like there's a penalty flag down. Is this ball going to be moving back for the Blue Jay offense?
Yeah, I saw the official. It looks like they are moving back, so that's going to be an infraction against the Blue Jays. It's going to be back inside the 20-yard line. Looks like at about the 18-yard line.
Rangers catch a break that time. Looks like it was a penalty on the return, either a hold or a blocking in the back. And now the Blue Jay offense is backed up to start this drive with 9:37 left in the second quarter.
Paul Masano's back with Taylor Norton as the lone back in the backfield from his own 17-yard line. Handoff, Paul Masano. He keeps grinding after breaking through 1 tackle. Short gain. It'll bring up 2nd down long. Both teams trying to establish the run. The danger tonight, the damage has been done in the air by the Blue Jays as Wambacher made that tackle for Jesuit.
21, Jackson Gayer back in the backfield for the Rangers. Got some pressure, couldn't ultimately bring him down, but definitely slowed down the running back, and that's why the Rangers were able to make that tackle there for a short gain.
Paul Masano still in the backfield. They like to run out of the gun formation. Hand off again to Paul Masano. He gets a nice hole. He's outside the 30 for a first down up near the 32-yard line. That was probably the biggest hole we've seen between the tackles tonight. Tanner Cruz made the tackle.
It's good recognition by Krug that time. He's on the right side of the line, jumps off of his block and dives to make that tackle. Still a first down for the Blue Jays, but saved what I thought was going to be a much bigger gain.
Yeah, boy, he had some real estate out in front. Cut it back up. So 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Norton swings it out to the right side. You know, they lost a lot of seniors to the Blue Jays last year, but they returned all of their skilled players, Kevin. And, you know, that experience at the skilled positions is so valuable, and you can see that Taylor Norton really looks confident.
Absolutely right, Tom. That's a good throw that time to the outside boundary. Caught by Hayes Mustayer for about a 6-yard gain, and now the Blue Jays go a little bit of hurry up.
2nd down 5, play action again, and again, that little small pass quick out to the right side is paying dividends as Benjamin Neff makes what I think is now his 6th catch of the night.
Cole Wambacher that time gets out there to push
First down.
Mistake out of bounds is basically the same route that he ran the play before, Tom. That quick little out route, and 2 times in a row it works for the Blue Jays, and now they have a first down.
Yeah, my apologies. That it was Mistake, not Neff. So 1st and 10. Let's see, the Rangers may have to start playing some press coverage. They've been just dinking and dunking. Said the ball is snapped. It's low. They break a tackle in the backfield, and a good job by Norton to get back to the line of scrimmage. The Rangers had a chance for a very big loss on the play as Krug was back there. Gabriel James finally got him down at the line of scrimmage, but they could have lost about 4 or 5. And a good job by Norton to break that tackle.
Jesuit New Orleans fortunate there as you see the ball rolling on the ground, Tom, from that snap. And Norton did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage, much less get any sort of gain on that play.
2nd down 10. No gain. If you're just joining us, it is 10. The Blue Jays from New Orleans Jesuit, and 6 from your Rangers from Dallas Jesuit. 2nd down 10 at their own 45-yard line. Back to pass Norton. Good protection. He'll fire it deep. Oh, my goodness. He had a man who was out there again. That was Hayes Mistake. And the Rangers catch another break because he was running wide open over the middle, and he overthrew him.
You watch the Rangers secondary and linebackers here as they walk back to the line of scrimmage. That time they were checking to make sure whose coverage is who, because it looked like Mistake broke free. And if that ball's caught, I think he's in the end zone.
Yeah, he was a good 6 yards behind the defender. So 3rd down 10. Stack formation on the left side. Norton back to pass. Rangers got to get some rush. Here they come, and he's wide open, and he throws him, overthrows him again. Oh, my. The Rangers had another busted coverage, and they caught a huge break as the ball was just overthrown. Running by himself was J.R. Burks.
And it looks like there's a penalty flag back in the backfield. Tom, it's a holding penalty on the Blue Jays. That'll be declined, and so now it's 4th down. But as you're right, 2nd time in a row there, a busted coverage by the Ranger defensive backs. That was 22, I think, Mac Murphy, who ended up on the ground. The Rangers fortunate there that time was the ball was a little overthrown for Burks.
Yeah, and I guess the good news from the Jesuit perspective is even had they connected, it was coming back because of the penalty. But that's a couple of times that we've had some Blue Jays now, at least 3 times, get open deep. Here comes the punt. And it is not going to be returnable. It's going to bounce at about the Jesuit Dallas 25 and will go inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. A 38-yard punt and no return. Kevin, you know, we always love to hear from our friends and family members that are listening out there. Bob Wunderlich, one of our most loyal listeners listening in tonight. Always love to hear from Coach Wunderlich, who was the head coach here at Jesuit Dallas for my first 13 years. This is, I think, Brandon Hickman's 14th year. Now, I think both of them have coached 14 years head coach. Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely right, Tom. Bob Wunderlich, just a legend here at Jesuit, English teacher, football coach for a long time, great member of the community.
So 1st and 10 inside the Jesuit 20. Play action again, rolling right. Going to tuck it and run. And taken down at about the 21-yard line. Barry's back at quarterback, the senior quarterback. So you got that veteran back in the lineup. He picked up about 4 on the play to bring up 2nd down 6. Tackle was made by Perry.
Continue to see what the Ranger offense does. It's play action again that time to Mayer. I think the Rangers are going to try to continue to establish the ground game so that play action will work a little bit more later in the game.
3 wide receiver set to the left. Back to pass Barry. He'll fire it left, and it's incomplete. That ball should have been brought in. That ball was right there, but there was a couple of white jerseys in the very near vicinity, and I think he was looking to where he was going after the catch before he secured it, and it goes incomplete.
Target was Joseph Konings that time for the Rangers. Looked like a decent throw out by Barry, couldn't bring it down. It's 3rd down now for the Rangers. Let's see what Barry and this offense have cooked up.
3rd down 6 from their own 21-yard line. Still plenty of time to get the play in. There's the snap, back to pass. Good protection, now it breaks down a little bit. He rolls right, trying to find someone. Barry's gonna keep it. Goes up the right sideline, goes out of bounds. Did he get to the sticks? I think he's short. I think he's just gonna be short at about the 27-yard line. And that'll be a big call up. Nope, they're gonna say he got it. Okay, good news there. Boy, that from where I stood, I didn't think he got the spot he needed, but he did a great job. He's got it. Handoff Mayer, and he has hit way behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to have a big loss back to the 20-yard line. They tried to run wide, And we've seen this pursuit. Late flag comes in, though, on the left sideline. So maybe a late hit. The Jesuit Rangers may have caught a break. That was a late flag. I think it's either going to be a face mask or a late hit. Let's see what the call is. We've got a good replay right here.
It was number 4, Zachary Furlow, that time in the backfield for the Blue Jays. Obviously, as you can see, Mayer's got nowhere to go. And let's see, the referees are conferring now about this call, what the penalty flag is going to be.
Yeah, they may decide to waive that one off the way they're talking about it. I will admit, as I looked at the replay there, I wasn't quite sure what exactly was called. Here comes the official to tell us. Flag still down on the field. He's trying to get his microphone. We'll hear it in just a moment with the rest of you. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick this one up.
Oh, that looks like the officials picked up the ball, though, and is going to start moving this one.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 11, 15 yards, get a first down. That's number 11's first unsportsmanlike conduct of the game.
All right, so there must have been something that was said over there. I didn't really see anything physically that happened, but the Rangers catch a break and get the 15-yard penalty because of the personal unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So must have been something that was said with the official too close, and the Rangers desperately needed something positive to start happening here, Kevin.
Still nothing scoring-wise so far for the Ranger offense. That 6 points on the board is from the defense. Let's see what Beck Berry and the Rangers can do this time on the drive.
From the 36-yard line, back to pass Berry. He's under pressure. He'll roll right. He's got a man out there. Ball is caught. Kirby near midfield, and he is down in Jay's territory at about the 48-yard line. And what a nice job by Berry, Kevin, as he had the pressure, rolled right, and found his safety valve, Cade Kirby. And that's a heck of a safety valve to have. You can call the replay.
You can see it here. It was Harry Irwin, number 15, in pursuit for the Blue Jays. As you mentioned, Berry does well to avoid him. And now it's first down for the Rangers.
And they'll quickly get to the line of scrimmage. And looks like Harris Judson gets his first carry, I think, tonight. Gets about maybe a half a yard, and that is it. Again, it's been tough sledding between the tackles. Boy, Cade Kirby's impressive out there.
Absolutely.
He's got some jets.
He's mobile, as we saw from the very first play of the game. So they're using him and his mobility to create space, and that time it worked out for the Rangers. Let's see what happens if the Blue Jays continue to bring pressure with Berry being as mobile as he is.
Yeah, he is very mobile. Will Berry, number 84, made that last tackle, the 6'4", 260-pound senior defensive tackle. Second down 10 from the 49-yard line. Back to pass. He's got a man in the flat. It's caught. Kirby, and he's going to be near first down yardage. Looks like they marked him just short. His 7th catch for Cade Kirby. And I'm pretty positive, yes, it looks like he's going to be about half a yard short, Kevin, just near the 40-yard line.
Kirby that time coming out of the backfield that time, Tom. That's why you thought he was Mayer. Rangers with a little bit of a different offensive set.
And Beck gets the ball, and he is just swarmed under. He was a quarterback keeper all the way, and he's going to lose about 3 yards as Harry Irwin was just exploded into the backfield to make a great play. And now 3rd and 1 turns into about 4th and 6, and the Rangers are going to go for it here at the Blue Jay 45 with 4:59 to go in the first half, and the Rangers trailing the Blue Jays 10-6.
Boy, it's a great jump that time by Irwin and Guidry. They get back there before the offense even knows what happens. Tackle for loss.
Let's see if they look for number 4. He's been old reliable tonight. The Rangers need 6 yards for the first down. They're calling it 7 officially on the scoreboard. 4:38 to go, clock running. Still plenty of time on the play clock. They're looking to the sidelines. I wonder if the Rangers are going to need a timeout here and talk about it. And Brandon Hickman will take the timeout with 4:29 to go here in the first half of play. So, Kevin, barrel and bones, the New Orleans Blue Jays, the Jesuit New Orleans Blue Jays parents were at Barrel and Bones tonight. That's Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse. They had a great time. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas in our community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screens at Barrel and Bones. You can hear Kevin, Chris, myself, and of course the great Chris Ackles when he's here, our normal play-by-play guy. Order online for delivery and use code JESUIT. That's Jesuit, of course, for $5 off your order.
We want to also give a shout out to our second quarter sponsor, Tom. That's Veritex Bank. Veritex Bank is proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Dallas Rangers. We share a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn how our shared values make Veritex Bank and Jesuit a winning team at www.veritexbank.com, member FDIC. And now the Rangers are going back out on the field with the offense, Tom, for this 4th down play.
Yeah, they're calling it 4th and 7 on the scoreboard. This looks like 4th and a long 6 to me. They've got to get just inside the Blue Jay 40. 4:29 to go. Let's see what Brandon Hickman dials up here. Barry, we'll have 2 wide receivers right, and now the Blue Jays may want to talk about things. So Blue Jays wanted to see the formation that Jesuit Dallas came out in. So remember, this is Dallas Jesuit's 2nd game of the year. This is the Blue Jays' 1st game of the year. They had what they call a jamboree, which is basically a half of play. They won last week 17-10, but they have come out returning every skill player, and I've been super impressed with their quarterback, Taylor Norton, and they've got 2 great running backs, Galvin Palmisano. We talked about Cerruti, he's also good. Lawray is a wide receiver that can be dangerous, and Burks, we've also called his name tonight. So they've got a bunch of weapons offensively, but their defense, Kevin, has been stout, particularly against the run.
Absolutely, Tom. I mean, again, you've mentioned they have a dynamic offense. The Rangers fortunate that it's not a higher score, I think, for the Blue Jays so far. Let's see if the Rangers can put some points on the board as the offense drives here on 4th down.
4th and 6 from the 45-yard line. Back to pass. Barry throws over the middle, incomplete, and there's no flag. The Jesuit faithful want a flag, but no flag is thrown. Joseph Koenigs was the intended receiver, so the Blue Jays will take over with good field position at their own 45-yard line with 4:24 to go, leading 10-6.
Yeah, a little bit of contact that time. You could hear the Ranger faithful on this sideline. The coaching staff wanted a flag. The referees hold it, and it's turnover on downs. Rangers. Now the Blue Jays have a chance to extend this lead with 4.5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter.
Palmisano is in the backfield with Norton. 4:24 to go, as you said, Kevin. First half, they lead by 4, 10-6. There's the snap. Play action to Palmisano, and quick strike over the right slant. Incomplete. Diving effort. Not able to bring it in. Well, they like that quick hitter, don't they? And they've been looking a lot. Sometimes you think a team is a right-handed team, a left-handed team. They like to go to the right in the air.
That you want to get that number 2, Jair Burks, into some space, the dynamic runner catcher that he is. So number 18 that time, Cole Wambacher for the Rangers, good in coverage. That pass incomplete.
2nd down 10. Remember the last time they had the ball, they had a chance for a touchdown. It went incomplete on an overthrow. There was a holding call, but they have had some receivers running open tonight, have the Blue Jays. 2nd and 10 from their own 45. There's a low snap. Now handoff right side, Palmisano. Rangers really spread that one out. Good pursuit. Lost about a half a yard to a yard on that, depending on the spot. It'll be 3rd down and 10 or 11.
Multiple Rangers in pursuit that time, Tom. It was 18 again, Cole Wambacher, who gets there first for a tackle in the backfield. Again, nothing going really for either of these teams on the ground so far, Tom.
Yeah, nothing. We really only saw one semi-good run from New Orleans Jesuit on their last possession when they had the run over the right side for about 12 yards. And they are 1 for 5 on 3rd down, but Jesuit also not able to move the ball from Dallas's perspective on offense on the ground either. Back to pass. Here comes the Jesuit rush. They flush him out to the right side. He's got a man wide open, and he throws on the run, caught near the 30. Down the right sideline to the 20, and a touchdown saving tackle is made. I thought he was going into the end zone, Kevin, and that is Jair Burks who made that catch. Weissmuller saved the touchdown, but it's inside the Jesuit 5, Dallas Jesuit 5.
Credit again to Taylor Norton, as we've talked about, Tom, who evades the rush that time and then finds Burks up along the right sideline for a 51-yard reception.
2nd 51-yard strike they've had tonight for the Blue Jays. That's 2 51-yard long passing plays. Low snap, handoff, left side. The Rangers will stack him up right at the line of scrimmage. He'll fall forward for maybe a half a yard. Good second effort, because I thought he was stoned right at the line of scrimmage, but he'll get a little something out of nothing. It'll be 2nd down goal from about the 3.
Palmisano that time continues to churn the feet after first contact. That's exactly what they teach you, Tom, to make sure you fall forward, keep moving forward. He probably got 2 extra yards out of the run on the goal line that time. Let's see what the Ranger defense has cooked up to to stop this short gain for the Blue Jay offense.
Yeah, Parker Sherman made the tackle, but you would think the Blue Jays, I would just give them a healthy dose of Gavin Palmisano from the 2-yard line. Second down. They hand it off to Palmisano, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. And a great play back there. That's Norman, who had the pick 6 earlier, who first was in to disrupt that, Kevin. Another Ranger came in to clean it up, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Joe Norman having a big night here for the Jesuit Ranger defense. It was a great job that time to get into the backfield, and now it looks like there's a timeout on the field.
And here's that 51-yarder, Kevin, if you want to take us through that one.
Absolutely. You see Norton there evades pressure, a good throw over the top of the defense, and there goes Burks. Looks like he's gone, but look at the diving stop by Weissmuller, trips him up just inside the 5-yard line. And we'll see now as it's going to be 3rd down for the Blue Jays. Perhaps that's a touchdown-saving tackle for Weissmuller and the Ranger defense.
Yeah, and I got to tell you that you've got to, when you're coaching these young men, and I know they'll be looking at film tomorrow, that's the kind of effort play that I think they'll rewind a couple of times, because I think not everybody sells out the way Weissmuller did. He really just gave himself completely up, dove in the air into the ground, and made the play. That was a great effort.
You never know what's going to happen on the next play, Tom. Got to continue to play until the whistle blows. That's exactly what Weissmuller did, and that's exactly what Joe Norman did on the last play for the Rangers when he got into the backfield and got a tackle for a loss. And now it's 3rd down and short at the goal line for the Blue Jays.
3rd down at about 3, 2 minutes to go in the first half. It's the Blue Jays of New Orleans, Jesuit 10, the Rangers of Dallas, Jesuit 6. We welcome all of our viewers and listeners tonight, both in the greater New Orleans area and here, of course, Dallas-Fort Worth, and all around the country listening in tonight. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I'm Tom Walsh with Kevin Fitzsimmons, Chris Martinez, and Carson Long. 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. They fake the handoff to Palmisano, and Norton takes it into the left side. He faked it right to Palmisano. He went it in, and on the left side, and the Blue Jays have extended this lead to 16-6 with 1:54 to go in the second quarter.
Hard to say if it was an option read that time or not, Tom, but either way, Taylor Norton pulls the ball beautifully. The Ranger defense go with the fake, and he's into the end zone for the score.
Yeah, that was a beautifully designed play as the extra point is up and good. And our scoring summary, which Kevin will give you in just a moment, is sponsored by the Vanguard Auto Group. Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with the GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We are here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers. Kevin, what do you got on that scoring summary?
Thank you, Chris Martinez. That drive, 6 plays, 55 yards, 2 minutes and 30 seconds after the Rangers turned it over on downs. Norton caps it off with a 3-yard quarterback keeper. It's 17-6. Blue Jays with 1:54 left to go here in the second quarter.
It's so important, I think, that your Jesuit Rangers get something going here. It's 17-6. The Blue Jays receive the kickoff. So the Rangers have a chance to have a 2-possession game, right? Get a score here at the end of the first half. They'll get the ball to start the second half. And that's one of those things that can really, we saw that with the New Orleans. If you watched Notre Dame versus Miami the other night, you saw Miami score with literally no time on the clock at the end of the first half, and they got the ball to start the third quarter, and they kept the ball for 9 minutes as they went down and scored again. The Rangers would love to duplicate that here. They've got 1:54 to do it, Kevin.
In the football world, Tom, they call that the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. Extremely important for those momentum type of games as the kickoff there goes out of the end zone for a touchback. And as you said, now 1:54 left to go for the Ranger offense to try and change this momentum.
And I'll tell you what, you don't want to go too far away from your video stream during halftime, because we're going to have our great friend, my longtime friend, your longtime friend, Mike Ursing, the president of Jesuit Dallas, our traditional opening home game interview with El Presidente, Mike Ursing, and I'm looking forward to visiting with him, as I know you are, Kevin. 1st and 10, 3 men to the right side. Handoff right up the gut again. Nowhere to go for the Jesuit runners in between the tackles as Mayer was the ball carrier.
Coach Radigan and Coach Livingston, co-offensive coordinators, maybe trying to catch the Blue Jays off guard with a run that time. And now the Rangers go hurry up with time ticking down here in the second quarter.
Ball thrown over the middle, picked off at the 38-yard line. Here they come the other way to the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10, 5, touchdown, pick 6 for both teams tonight. That is Bo Matalewski who picked that one up and took it back. We'll get Chris to confirm how many yards he took it back, but it was 38 yards from what I could see with just the naked eye. And all of a sudden, the Blue Jays have extended their lead to 23-6.
Yeah, unfortunate that time. It looked like Matalewski comes right out from behind the referee. I'm not sure that Barry saw him across the middle. And as you said, Tom takes it to the house. Now that's one pick 6 for each team.
Yeah, I don't think he did see him. Good job by Matalewski. We've called his name a lot. Ethan Cabos puts that up, and I can tell you the scoring summary is pretty quick on that. Matalewski, a pick 6 from 38 yards out. And how about you give us that read of the scoring summary, Kevin Fitzsimmons?
Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC Kia, 4 dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers. We also want to give a shout out to our second quarter sponsor and our primary sponsor here, our title sponsor, Veritex Bank, is proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Dallas Rangers. We share a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn how our shared values make Veritex Bank and Jesuit a winning team at www.veritexbank.com, member FDIC. Well, Tom, now 1 minute 26 left to go here in the second quarter, and the lead has ballooned for the Blue Jays now to 24-6. Now it's a little bit less than a momentum game. The Rangers need to score here to keep this one in check.
Director of Communications James Kramer joins us in the booth. He may stay around for some of this halftime interview with Mike Ursing. Mike, is this the 15th year at the helm? Yes, it is. 15 years that Mike Ursing has served as our president, and over 40 years of service. I've got you down for 46 years total at Jesuit Dallas. You know, I used to rely on Kevin's dad for those kind of statistics, but I stepped up there, 46 yards. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah. So Mike Ursing, 46 years, both of assistant principal, and now 15 years as president. Did you know that he had 46 years? Did you have that in your back pocket?
I wouldn't have had that number, Tom. That's a good one that you pulled, although you have a little bit of a better grasp on me because you were alive 46 years ago and I was not. So we're glad to be here with longtime friend, storied Jesuit administrator, my good friend Mike Ursing, Uncle Buck, as I like to call him for those folks who are listening at home who know that name. And now the Blue Jays, looks like there's some confusion. Both teams are going to go to the sideline. There's a timeout by the Blue Jays that time.
Well, the good news is my first had a pit in my stomach that this had to do with lightning. They were sending them off the field. So we'll knock on whatever wood we can find around here. And no, just a timeout was called. So look, we got a veteran coaching staff here, long-time head coach Brandon Hickman. I think this is his 14th year as the head coach of your Rangers. He was, of course, an all-Southwest Conference offensive lineman for TCU, great coach. He recognizes, Kevin, you can't make up a score 24-6 in one drive. You got to take it one drive at a time, one play at a time. But the Rangers desperately, I think, need to get some sort of points here at the end of this first half. A field goal, anything would do. They, of course, would love to get 7. But just something to kind of get some momentum back because it has been all Blue Jays here in the second quarter.
And we know we have some explosive players here for the Rangers on the offense. Let's see if Shane Parker, Cade Kirby, folks like that get involved on a couple of deep balls as the Rangers try to put some points on the board before the half.
And their kicker for the New Orleans Jesuit Blue Jays, Ethan Cabos, has been a good one. This is returnable at the 1-yard line. Taking it out to the 5, the 10, and gets hit before the 20-yard line at about the 17-yard line. Great downfield coverage as number 81, Lindley, made the return for Jesuit, and that is
Harry Irwin that time on the tackle for the Blue Jays. Again, good pursuit, and it leaves Jesuit with a long way to go here on this drive as we start this last minute 20 of the second quarter.
We do expect an abbreviated halftime because of the delay in getting this game kicked off. So back to pass now. And we've got Livingston again in the ball game. It goes incomplete. The ball was thrown a little bit low.
And as you see on your screen there, that ball was targeted to Beck Berry, quarterback. So he's out there at wide receiver right now with Livingston behind center in the shotgun at quarterback for the Rangers.
So Livingston is a 6'3", 180-pound sophomore. He's got good size, obviously, at 6'3". And Barry was a wide receiver all last year and the year before for Jesuit, so he's comfortable out there, but he also plays our starting quarterback tonight. Now out at receiver, back to pass. Good rush. He'll throw down the right sideline, just picked off at the 45-yard line. Here we come back the other way. Blockers out in front to the 30, still on his feet. Could go all the way to the 10, the 5. Another pick six for the Blue Jays. That was McKinley Perry. And the 30-6 is what the scoreboard reads with 59.3 seconds to go.
Livingston that time throws the ball up. There's multiple defenders in the area. Perry comes down with it. You think when he catches it here around the 38-yard line, there's no way he's going to get it all the way to the end zone, but got a couple of good blocks, goes all the way across the field, and it's the second pick six in a row now for this Blue Jay defense.
And there's Cabo's extra point kick is up and good, and we've got another scoring summary. 38-yard pick six there. We didn't have to have Chris write that one out. As Perry. Vanguard Auto Group is the sponsor of our scoring summary. Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and 4 dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Go Rangers. Well, 31-6 with under a minute to go. 2 pick sixes in a span of less than a minute, Chris. And what was the time remaining on the clock after the first pick six that we just had? So it's 59.3 seconds to go in the first half. 3 possessions ago, Jesuit took the ball with 1:54 to go. So a minute, not even a minute later, we've had 2 pick sixes from your Blue Jays. Their defense has been very opportunistic tonight, obviously with 2 pick sixes, but their run defense has been outstanding, and they are feeling good on the Jesuit New Orleans sidelines. And now you got to wonder, Kevin, do we still attack, or do we just maybe take a knee and get into the halftime and try to kind of figure out what's not going the way we had hoped it would go? I think that they'll continue to still see if they can't get something going. It's 31-6. I don't expect us to take a knee. I think we'll continue to attack.
Yeah, let's see what happens here on the return this time for the Rangers. As we have a little bit of a stoppage before the kick, want to continue to give shout out to folks that are listening. Got my good friend Thomas Karam from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who's listening in tonight. Got some good family connections to Jesuit New Orleans, related to the Karam family here in Dallas as well. So hello to my friend Thomas and his family that are watching the game here tonight. It's a timeout, it looks like, again, by Jesuit New Orleans before the kickoff, and both teams on the sidelines here as they get ready for the kickoff. 59.3 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Rangers now down 6-31 in favor of the Blue Jays. And this offense has got to get going. It's 6 points, Tom, for the defense from the first drive. Joe Norman, pick 6, and nothing scored yet since the Rangers after that first drive.
Absolutely, and some of our most loyal listeners, Kevin, Sean Naughton, listening down from the 40 acres in Austin. He's listening tonight. Your brother-in-law, Danny Felter, says we sounded mid-season form. He's always a loyal listener. Juan Luna, who's called a lot of our Jesuit baseball games on the internet for us on the Jesuit Ranger Broadcast Network, listening in. So everyone needs a spark, something good to go for your Jesuit Rangers, but it's been all Blue Jays. Almost had the wrong bird there for a moment, excuse me. And here comes another kick, and it's going to be, I think, unreturnable. Nope, they're taking it out from 1 yard deep. I thought they would take a knee up to the 10, 15, cuts back to the 20, still on his feet to the 25, and is taken down at about the 26-yard line, as that is Corson Lindley who has returned a couple tonight. Carson Long, talking about Carson's, is doing a great job. Jesuit senior. We so have enjoyed Carson. Are you still planning to go do broadcast journalism in college? Yes, you are. You plan to go to the University of Texas? Where are you going? Haven't decided yet? He's going Mizzou? Is that what you're thinking? Okay, you haven't made a decision yet. We will not announce that your commitment just tonight. Of course, Missouri does have a great school, as does Syracuse, as does the University of Texas Moody School of Communications. And the ball is thrown behind. Barry's throw is behind the intended receiver. And it goes incomplete as he was trying to get it out to Carter Casey.
Rangers trying to get a quick completion that time, Tom, on the right side of the field, get out of bounds. Maybe make this field a little bit shorter as they've got 75 yards to go with 47 seconds left on the clock.
Second down 10 from the 25-yard line. Handoff left side. Mayer breaking some tackles, gets up to the 30, and looks like the Rangers now may just have a couple of run plays and get into the locker room, Kevin. Remember, Mike Ursing, our longtime Jesuit president and principal and assistant principal before that. You know, he used to be in charge of discipline back in the day.
I'm sure that was scary for those boys then. He's a little bit softer now, I think, Tom.
Yes, my law partner, Tom Melsheimer, who the Melsheimer Family Theater is named after here at Jesuit, said you did not want to get crossways with the disciplinarian Mike Ursing. He was excellent, but always fair, he said. Okay, little screen pass. Nice play out to Mayer, and that will do it for the first half. He's still on his feet up near the 49-yard line. Tackle was made there. Maybe a little bit of that's Matalewski. Maybe that'll give something a little bit of momentum, anything, but it's 31-6. New Orleans Jesuit leads over your Dallas Jesuit Rangers. So, Kevin, we got a lot long to, I'm not quite sure how long. Looks like it'll put 15 minutes up. It's going to be an abbreviated halftime. Why don't you, if you don't mind, give your headset to Mike Ursing. I'll ask a few questions, and I'll hand you my headset, and you can ask a few questions. Okay, we'll kind of tag team this. So let's bring him on to the broadcast right now. Our president, Mike Ursing, my great friend. Mike, good to be with you tonight. And let me just ask you, because I know Jack Fitzsimmons was a special friend of yours as well. This son of his youngest son, Kevin Fitzsimmons, sounds like he's been broadcasting for decades. He's great.
He's been great. Yeah, it's interesting that he introduced me as Uncle Buck because he's Buck Jr. to me. And I laugh because his brother gave me a call a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Uncle Buck, I wonder if you could help me. And it's just I started laughing right away because I said, that's one of the few people that I know knows me as Uncle Buck.
Yeah, I know. We were both so excited you were going to come up. So we have Mike Ursing, our longtime president here in his 15th year as the president of Jesuit Dallas. And Mike, you know, we always love to visit with you at the beginning of the school year, first home game. It's been our tradition. You know, this is my 28th year of calling Jesuit football games on the air. You've been one of our special guests for all 28 years, even back to your principal days. It just seems like we just put a wrap on the class of 2025, you know, just yesterday. Now we've got the class of 2029 that are beginning their run here at Jesuit, but there's been so many already fun activities already. Let's take us through some of the highlights as we begin the Jesuit school year.
Absolutely. I mean, the year goes by so fast, you blink and it's already halfway done, Tom. I mean, it feels like we're more into October, November than we are to starting September. But, you know, we're starting, the guys are getting excited because of Senior Community Days. That'll be coming out September 15th, and that's a special retreat that the seniors do for 3 days and 2 nights at a Lakeview camp in Waxahachie. So we'll have 281 seniors and about 42 faculty and staff that'll be going with that, and that's a long tradition. I was trying to figure out how long we've been doing it, and it's been over 50 years we've been doing
over 50 years of community days. I know Kevin Fitzsimmons has told me before that is one of the most special weekends here at Jesuit. Those seniors obviously know a lot about community days, but I think, and we're not going to give away any secrets, but there are some traditions I think that happen on that weekend that you don't really know about till you experience, right?
That's right. I mean, it's a great bonding experience for the guys that are there, and it's certainly special for all the faculty that go on there to be part of that. College night, September 9th, so Jesuit will be hosting about 180 different colleges and universities here on campus for all the Catholic high schools in the area, so we look forward to that. Freshman mixer tomorrow night. If it doesn't rain, or even if it does rain, we'll be here with about 300 freshmen from Jesuit and probably about 200 freshmen from Ursuline, and they'll be on the field playing games and dancing and doing all sorts of fun stuff, so we have that to look forward to. We've been doing a club fair the last 2 weeks during lunch, so we've had, and as you know, we have 80 plus different clubs, so they've had a chance to put a table out during lunch and they try to entice the guys to come and join their club, so that's been a lot of fun to see. It's been really really special. You said, what we've been doing already too. We had the open mic last Friday. So open mic Friday is there's a microphone in the cafeteria, and you can sing a song or play an instrument or do a little bit of poetry, and the cafeteria responds to it positively.
Let me ask you this: I've never been invited to open mic. Is that open mic day or open mic night?
Well, it's open mic day, but I don't know if you're good enough compared to some of the guys that are playing on there. So I've heard you sing, Tom.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
You have.
In fact, I've been with you.
Yeah.
I've not done the open mic either.
We've sung together in front of the Jesuit auction.
Yeah, listen, ladies and gentlemen at home, don't worry. We're not going to sing
not
tonight.
Singing
no,
tonight
not
if you're lucky.
So it's been great. We had the first prayer service already that we talked about building community, and of course, long-standing tradition in all Jesuit schools, the 42 regular schools in North America, but we've also, it's really almost a year across the globe where you have the Mass of the Holy Spirit kicks off the year. And so that was a wonderful Mass that we had, wonderful liturgy. And so we're moving. Senior and junior parent nights are already done. Freshman and sophomore parent nights are coming up. We have the Challenge Drive kickoff coming up in a week or so, and also the Celebration Auction gift gathering party. And as you know, the Celebration Auction is so important for our scholarship program, Tom.
No, it really is, Mike. And, when you were mentioning the freshman mixer that's coming up that you have out here on the football field, I mean, it just seems like yesterday that my youngest daughter, Kate, who's now a freshman at the University of Texas, was coming to that event. And I used to always tell you, I'd say, Mike, keep an eye out for Kate, make sure she's doing well. And you'd always send me a text saying, hey, it looks like she's having fun. And Mary Beth, my oldest daughter, was here 4 years before that. But, that's one of those great traditions that I know that the freshman girls at Ursuline, where my daughters both went, and the freshman boys here at Jesuit really look forward to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have to give a shout-out tonight because Gail Rubensby was here tonight. It's her birthday, and she came to watch her nephew play football. But she's a longtime Jesuit former math teacher and former department chair. And so she thought she'd come back to the school, and she's been retired for a number of years. But it was really delightful to see her with a big smile and have her here supporting the Big J here on this side.
Absolutely. Now, Mike, the tradition I used to have with Jack Fitzsimmons, Kevin's dad, was I asked the easy questions. I got the layups, and then I left, whatever else he could come up with to him. So I'm going to do that to Kevin here in a minute. I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'm going to let Kevin ask whatever he is. But I'm going to ask the obvious stuff. But there's been an incredible capital campaign going on. We're in the end of school campaign. I know BJ Antes and that great staff. I
have a great team. I really do.
Great team, yeah. They've done an amazing job. I got to do a tour of it as a member of your board of trustees a couple of weeks ago. I was blown away by the new chapel that's going to be in there. The front of school is going to be spectacular, where people can drive through. The offices, the learning spaces. Just talk about, you've really been here and led this great renovation that we've seen with the goal, the aquatic center. But talk about that front of school. That's kind of the piece de resistance, if you will, the very last piece of this current campaign.
And I don't want to forget the dove.
Yes, the dove, the
field
dove.
You're not very good on birds tonight, Tom.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking
that,
cardinals, blue, but yeah, Tim Dove and his wonderful wife, of course, the lead donors on the Dove Field House. But talk about what we've been doing here.
Well, it's exciting. I mean, we're looking forward to having everything open by April of 2026. But the crown jewel, so to speak, will be the chapel. The chapel will house about 350 seats. There'll be pews. It'll be very traditional. But we're really looking forward to that because that's going to be a very special, sacred place. We do a lot of great things in the Terry Center, and that we transform it. And in fact, we were just talking to the young men about how we transform the Terry Center. When we have a prayer service or a liturgy, it becomes a sacred space. On Saturday night, it may be a place where we're going to put the kids when it's raining for the dance. The Rangerettes practice in there. We have all sorts of things that go on there. It's a wonderful, wonderful building. It's over 20 years old now too, but it'll be nice to have just a dedicated sacred space for our liturgies, our masses, in terms of class masses, and when we come back from Kairos retreats, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be something very special, and I think it's going to make a difference in terms of the hearts of the young men who go in, because the minute you walk in there, you're going to see a difference.
You cement that beautiful entryway, Mike. Thanks to Tom for passing along the microphone here off of Inwood Road. Now that chapel is going to be visible, right?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It's a symbol of the school here for everybody to see.
Yeah, there'll be a big cross on the front of the tower. There's no bells associated with that, but it's going to be a great symbol for the school. And and you're right, Buck Jr. It's going to be just a little ways from the main entrance of the school, so it's going to be a really unique place. I mean, it's about time when you think about the front of the school. When I started teaching here in '78, that was the new front of the school that opened up in January of '79. Prior to that, the entrance was on the St. Rita side, very different. So this has really been, you think about it, '79 was the old entrance. That's, you weren't even born yet,
It's a long time.
Yeah, I don't even know if Mr. Walsh was born then, so who knows,
Well, let's get you out of here on this. Not only does Tom Walsh ask the easy questions, he asks most of the questions, so I'll ask just one last one as we get close here to the end of our abbreviated halftime. It's not every time that we play a football game, Mike, that we look across the field and we see the tent there that says Jesuit, Men of Faith, Men for Others on the other sideline. That's typically our sideline. We're playing against UIL opponents here in the public school system in Texas. How special is it to have this relationship with a school like Jesuit New Orleans? I know we have a lot of listeners down in New Orleans tonight. A lot of fans, obviously, across the way have made the trip from down south. Just talk about this game here, what that means for these two schools to play against each other, and how special it is for our boys to play against a team that shares our school values.
Well, I think that you said it right there. It shares our school values, because for us, when we're playing them, it's really special, the community aspect of it. I like to say when we play a Jesuit school, Jesuit won, no matter what side wins. I mean, it's a really a unique trait, as Father Tan prayed in the opening prayer, that special community that we exist in that. It's been fun for me for Jesuit High New Orleans, because my very good friend Raymond Fitzgerald started presidency there when I started the presidency here. Raymond's down looking on us from heaven right now, but I know Father Brown has been doing a good job there, so and we're friends. It's good to see him here tonight. But it's a very special relationship. We have a long history with Jesuit High New Orleans, and I have to say, same thing when we play Jesuit Strake in Houston.
Yep.
I mean, Father Jeff Johnson and the group down there, they're always very warm and welcoming and make us feel right at home. And I know we played them in soccer last time. It was always fun. We also played them in rugby. So, who wins? Jesuit won. That's how I like to think. And I think God smiles down on both of us when we play. So it's really a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again to our halftime guest, President of Jesuit, Mike Ursing. We're going to take a short break here, and then we're going to come back for statistics with our statistician Chris Martinez. Thanks to our producer in the booth with us tonight, Trey Bell, with Tradio, who's producing this game for us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute for first half stats with Chris Martinez.
Hey, we're back here at halftime. There's 3 minutes to go before we start the second half. First, the offensive.
I hear him good. He's going. Yeah.
The stats for both the teams. Jesuit actually won the first down battle 10-7. They were 3 for 8 on third downs. New Orleans Jesuit 3 for 7. Dallas Jesuit, I'm going to say Dallas and New Orleans. Dallas 1 for 3 on fourth downs, and the rushing attempts for Dallas Jesuit, 13 attempts, only 14 yards. So New Orleans Jesuit has really slammed the door on the passing, 13 for 26, 2 interceptions, only 100 yards, 114 yards of total offense for Dallas Jesuit. New Orleans Jesuit, 33 yards on the ground, 214 yards through the air, 247 yards of total offense.
Just keep going, Chris.
Penalties, no penalties on Jesuit. 3 penalties against New Orleans for 30 yards. Points off turnovers, 14. Those 2 interceptions, pick sixes, and Jesuit had 6 points off of turnovers. Individually, quarterback Taylor Norton for New Orleans, 11 completions for 214 yards, but get this, 3 of those completions was 152 yards. 2 51-yard completions to Jair Burks and a 50-yard completion to Roman Larry. So 152 yards of those 214 yards on 3 completions. Benjamin Neff has caught 4 balls for 37 yards. Hayes Mestier, 3 catches for 18 yards. On the Dallas Jesuit side, Beck Berry, 13 completions for an even 100 yards. Cade Kirby's been his leading receiver, 7 catches for 63 yards. Shane Parker caught 3 passes for 11 yards. We didn't see much of Shane in the second quarter. Hope he's okay. Corson Lindley, a couple of catches for 7 yards. And Lucas Meyer, 1 for 19 yards. So right now, Dallas Jesuit has got their work cut out for them. They're still looking for their first offensive touchdown of the year. They only scored 3 points last week against Hebron, and the touchdown today was the pick 6.
Well, thank you, Chris. And you are in midseason form as well, my friend. 28 years with us here on the Jesuit Ranger broadcast crew. Of course, he's been statistician, color commentator, halftime guest. He's done it all. And we welcome Kevin Fitzsimmons back to the broadcast. But before we talk, Kevin, about what the Rangers need to do in the second half, let's talk about our halftime show sponsor, Right Legal PLLC. They have been our halftime show sponsor for as long as I can remember. Life situations sometimes seem daunting, and you don't know where to start. Our trusted group of professionals at Right Legal specialize in helping with all matters relating to estate, probate, business, and tax issues. Paul Wright, from the Jesuit class of 1986, Right Legal PLLC. Paul Wright, one of my favorite all-time Jesuit Rangers, and has been our halftime show sponsor for as long as I can remember. Kevin, as we get ready to start, that was an abbreviated halftime show. We're hoping to get as much of the second half as we can in, and there goes the lightning, and folks, that may be trouble for the second half, as the players will have to leave the field, and the officials will now have to talk with the coaches. The New Orleans Blue Jays, the Jesuit Blue Jays, have come all the way from New Orleans. They've got the JV, I think, planning to play tomorrow, Kevin, but now that is at least a 30-minute delay, so I guess they will not have an abbreviated halftime show, and I wonder how much the coaches and the teams and the athletic directors, I'm sure, will get together and talk about next steps.
Yeah, 10:20 p.m. already here, Tom, and we can see that American flag again at the north end of the stadium, this time waving in a different direction than it was earlier tonight. I think this storm may have caught up to us, and we'll see what happens if we're going to head in, especially in a non-district contest like this. You hate to see it for the folks that came all the way from New Orleans to be here with us. Hate to see it we've already had about an hour and a half delay. But we'll see what happens here as the rest of the evening goes on. This one might be over, though, a little early.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do. And as soon as we know, we will let you know. And all I can tell you is that the alarm, the siren has sounded, and that means we are in another 30-minute delay minimum. Now, the good news is it was during halftime. So they didn't get started and have to go immediately off the field, but I just wonder how much they're going to stick around with this weather coming in, because unlike the last time, Kevin, when we were really banking on the storm that was in the area, we never saw a drop of rain, by the way. It was really wild. For 28 years, I've been doing these games, as you've heard, with Chris Martinez, and we probably had 5 over the years where we had to have these long delays because of lightning. 4 of them we got done the same night. 1 we had to come back on Saturday. But for all of those, there was torrential rain, too. No rain tonight. But the bad news is this appears to be a new storm system coming into the area, and that does not bode well in my meteorological experience, Kevin.
Which isn't much, but I think you might be right this time, Tom. If we look here at the north end zone, you can see head coach Brandon Hickman for the Rangers and head coach Ryan Manali for the Jesuit High New Orleans Blue Jays look like they're having a conversation about this one ending. I can start to see the goalposts shaking as well, and the flags on top of the goalposts continuing to go. So I'm thinking that it looks like we're going to call this one for the night, try to keep everybody safe here in the stadium, the players especially on the field, as the folks who've been in attendance start to clear the stadium for the second time tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. They are talking right now, and we will keep you posted. So we're going to stay on the air until we get word. Chris, if you see James Kramer or somebody, send us a text. Let us know what you're hearing down there as we send Chris out to brave the elements. We'll see what he can determine. He does it all, I told you. Hey, I want to talk about Tradio. Trey Bell, been with us tonight. We've had all kinds of things thrown at us, acts of God. Kevin, I'm a lawyer. We talk about force majeure, right? Force majeure. I got a lawsuit right now. We're talking about force majeure clauses. Well, right now, that's usually an act of God, a winter weather event affecting an entire geographic area, something like that. Well, here we have a weather event affecting this geographic area, and it looks to be some pretty heavy lightning and perhaps some rain. We talked about not having rain earlier tonight, but rain may be on the way.
Absolutely, Tom. And you mentioned the great work that our friends at Tradio have done for us tonight. We thank Trey Bell, who's been in the booth with us producing this show. We thank our cameramen who are outside working these cameras for us. You've been doing it for 28 years, Tom. How neat is it now to have the video, the audio, the live stream, the graphics? What a difference from those first few calls on the radio back in 1998.
Yeah, 1998 when we started doing this. We had a radio station I think you could hear if you went and got in your car in a certain part of Dallas, right? We eventually were over 20 years on KAAM 770 AM, and we're excited about this new relationship with Tradio. Everyone knows them as TR3.live. I believe it's .live/Jesuit. Is that our thing tonight? That's where you're hearing us tonight. I know our friends in New Orleans are listening tonight, and we can tell you Tradio's doing a great job. We really appreciate Trey Bell. We've been watching the highlights, as I've gotten older, Kevin. My eyesight not as good as it once was when I was 31 years old when I started this, now 58. And I got this big old monitor right here, and you just can't help but see the numbers. They got the great camera work. Henry Jeedy was out there tonight, braving the elements. Where were you, Henry? You're up on top of the press box? No, down the left side of the stadium there? Yeah, the bleachers. All right. Well, we appreciate Henry. Henry, you're now a junior. Yes. Henry Jeedy, now a junior. I've known this young man since he was a very small boy and one of the biggest sports fans you've ever met. There's no one that lives and dies with the Texas Rangers like Henry Jeedy, excuse me. His sister Elizabeth Jeedy, now at Baylor, coming in for the Baylor SMU game. And what we're calling here, Kevin, is a veteran radio. We're vamping here. We're just kind of talking as we're trying to wait to see what the decision is as the coaches and the referees. I know we don't have our cameras panned on them right now. We just have the graphic talking about the weather delay, but they're out in the north end zone talking about what next steps are.
Take a minute just to appreciate this, Tom. Obviously, everybody wants to see some high school football. Nobody wants to see this game get canceled on account of weather, but you can't control what you can't control. There's a group of officials next to a couple police officers here in the northwest corner of the end zone, a group of coaches with some other officials as they're sitting there talking about it, and certainly looking at the storm that's coming through. What's clearly coming first here is everybody's safety tonight. The players, the people that are in attendance, the coaching staff, even us up here in the booth. It's good to see that the folks who are in charge are taking this seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an act of force majeure. I said it again, right? It's an act of God. Nothing we can do about it but try to keep everybody safe. I am glad that the young men from both teams got to get out and compete tonight. It did look earlier tonight when we would keep having these 30-minute. Every time there's a lightning strike within 10 miles, there's a siren that goes off, and we all get word that they got to start the 30-minute countdown all over again. We got down to within 6 minutes at one point, and we thought we were going to get started maybe around 8:15. I guess it was around 8 when we had that lightning strike and we had to reset the clock. We did get it kicked off about 8:55. The game started good, Kevin, for the Jesuit Rangers perspective. Norman had a great play, but a 14-yard pick six on the first possession by the Blue Jays. And the Rangers were in business 6-0. They ran the swinging gate. New Orleans Jesuit was not fooled at all. Rangers were not able to convert on the two-point conversion, so they led 6-0. And ever since then, it has really been New Orleans Jesuit. Jesuit Dallas did move the ball on 2 or 3 drives early on, got down to within about the 40-yard line, 45-yard line a couple times, I think, into New Orleans Jesuit territory, but there's been 2 pick sixes by the Blue Jays, including at the end of the half from a minute 54 to 59 seconds of game clock. They had 2 pick sixes, and those were really going to be tough to overcome with the Rangers now trailing 31-6.
Absolute killer, Tom. When you think about it, we talked about that momentum swing maybe at the end of the second quarter. The Rangers are down 6-17 to the Blue Jays at that point, and like you said, 2 possessions in a row by 2 different quarterbacks, one by Beckberry and the other by J.P. Livingston, a pick 6. Got to credit the Blue Jays defense. They were stopping the run, and so it was forcing Jesuit Dallas to go to the air. Couldn't find success there either, and as Chris Martinez said at the halftime break before he left, we look like we're still going to be searching for that first Jesuit Dallas Rangers offensive touchdown of the year if this is all said and done now here because of the weather. So 2 games in and no offensive scores for the Rangers. That'll be something this coaching staff wants to continue to take a look at. I know Coach Hickman has talked about his confidence in Beckberry, his confidence in this wide receiver core especially. Again, we're out without number 1, Harlan Buechler, stud wide receiver for the Rangers, who's a track star as well. So early on in the season, Chris Ackles and I talked about last week on the broadcast, these first few games, it's a time to learn. You know, this group still learning to gel together, still getting used to this offense, still getting used to playing together with one another after 43 seniors graduate from the Jesuit Dallas team last year. And as Coach Hickman said when we talked to him a couple weeks ago before the season began, none of this matters for your playoff hopes. That's all up to district play in a few weeks. So hopeful time left still here for the Rangers to continue to figure this out early on in the season.
Yeah, and look, if you're looking long term, yes, the Rangers want to win tonight. They ran into a very talented Blue Jays team that did graduate a lot of seniors last year, but they also brought back all their skilled position players, and you can see it with that experience. I mean, they've really been impressive. They've got some dangerous weapons on the outside, a couple of backs that are good running backs, and a very talented quarterback. And their defense, boy, what a run-stopping machine they are. And they've got 2 pick sixes to boot tonight, so very impressive. But the Rangers have still got all of their goals that they set out before the season started. They're attainable, right? And the number 1 goal, of course, is to win district, right? Position yourself with that number 1 seed coming out of the district. The top 4 teams in the district will qualify for the playoffs. The 2 with the largest the largest enrollment will go to Division I. The 2 with the smaller enrollment will go to Division II. Of course, we have 2 6A classifications in the playoffs because we're such a big state. The quote, big school classification and the small, quote, small school 6A classification. They're all 6A schools, but all their goals are still ahead of them, Kevin. Yes, you'd want to win tonight. Yes, you want to get that offense untracked, get some of those points going. Next week, it will be no easy task either, as we will be going over to Highlander Stadium to take on the Highland Park Scots.
Yeah, let's talk about that matchup, Tom. A long-time rivalry now for the Rangers and the Scots. That's going to be a difficult test again here, the 3rd game of the season for the Rangers. And after that, we have the bye break, the bye week due to community days, which you spoke about with Mr. Ursing earlier tonight. But that'll be the last test for the Rangers before they get ready for District 7 6A play against a good set of schools this year. Just a look ahead at the schedule for the rest of the season as we continue to wait on this lightning delay. Coaches, police officers, and officials still in the end zone trying to figure out what happens next. As soon as we know more, we'll let you know. But as we start off the district schedule, September 25th at Irving, October 3rd, home against J.J. Pierce, October 10th, home against Lake Highlands, October 16th at MacArthur, October 24th against Richardson here at home, October 31st at Richardson-Berkner, and November 7th at Irving-Nimitz. So that's the schedule ahead for the Rangers. A good couple months of high school football, hopefully with fewer weather delays and weather implications than these. But I know the Rangers are excited to get going for district play, get out of these first few games and get into a rhythm.
Yeah, and we looked already on the weather app earlier tonight. It looks like it's going to be very nice weather next Friday night at Highlander Stadium. Because of this cold front that's coming in. It's going to cool it off to about 78 degrees later tonight, but it looked like there's going to be some rain intermittent off and on throughout the evening. We have not yet heard anything official. We've asked for any updates to be provided to us so we can pass them on to you. Again, I want to thank Trey Bell with Tradio, TR3DIO. You're listening to us at tradio.live/Jesuit. Next week, we'll have our normal channel available, our normal YouTube channel for Jesuit. And but you can see the video quality we've had tonight. It's been outstanding. Good camera work. I think hopefully the sound sounds good.
We're just in word now here from our senior spotter, Carson Long. Tom, they have called the game officially, and so we start to see folks cleaning up here on the field and around the stadium. It looks like this one's going to be over early tonight.
Well, Kevin, we've just kind of, I guess, recap what we saw tonight. The score at the half, 31-6. That'll be the final score tonight with the Blue Jays of New Orleans Jesuit prevailing tonight. I think it was the right decision to call this one based on what we're seeing. I give everyone credit from both schools to try to get this one in. These young men came 8 hours from New Orleans, the Big Easy, to play here in the Big D. And I'm glad they got to get a first half of play in, and I think the New Orleans Jesuit Blue Jays are going to be pleased with what they saw tonight from their squad. The Rangers from Dallas Jesuit, got some things to build upon, but everything, all their goals are still obtainable. Everything they set out that they want to achieve, still achievable. What are your final thoughts, Mr. Kevin Fitzsimmons?
Well, first and foremost, great to be with you tonight, Tom. I know we've been looking forward to this for many weeks, to do this together. A special night, no matter what happened with the lightning or the radio tech or whatever it is. It's great to be here with you calling this game. And it looks like this one's going to end early. Want to say a couple of quick apologies to our sponsors here for the second half. I know you and Babe Laufenberg will get them in multiple times next week, but to our third quarter sponsor, Complete Land Sculpture, our fourth quarter sponsor, Rockmore Roofing Solutions, and our post-game sponsor, Mosley Dental Group, thank you so much for being a part of our season, and we will get you some more time on the air next week when we have a second half. But ultimately tonight, Tom, still lots of things to work on for the Rangers as we continue to improve on this early season and look ahead to a good opponent next week, the Highland Park Scots.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, Kevin, the great Babe Laufenberg and I will be there together to call that one. We called last year's Highland Park Jesuit game at SMU's Ford Stadium. We'll be at Highlander Stadium next week. 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll go on the air right around 6:45 on Tradio. You'll be. I think you'll have two options next week, right, Trey? We'll have you at tr3.live/Jesuit, and we'll have you at our normal Jesuit YouTube spot as well. But so excited about what Tradio's bringing to the broadcast. Trey worked so hard tonight under a lot of difficult conditions, frankly, and did it very, very well, and we appreciate him. Kevin, it's so great to be with you, my friend. I'm going to say it for anybody that's still listening. I always called you my favorite Fitzsimmons, and I loved your dad like a brother. But I am so proud of the young man you are. I'm so grateful that you and Chris Ackles are taking over this radio, internet broadcasting that your dad and I started together with Chris Martinez 28 years ago. It could not be in better hands, and to be with you tonight. We'll do another game or two later this year as well. But to be with you tonight, even for just the brief half that we were, it has been quite a thrill for me, and I'm very proud, and I'm looking forward to hearing you from years to come.
Likewise, thanks so much, Tom. Great to be here. This has been such an important part of the Jesuit community over the last couple of decades, as you know, to be able to hear these games on the radio, on the internet, now to see the live stream as well. I think it's really something that's special for this community, for family members that are far and wide, and it's certainly something that we want to continue the great legacy that you and Dad started so long ago.
All right. Well, thank you, my friend. So for my friend Kevin Fitzsimmons, for our producer Trey Bell, Carson Long, Jesuit senior, who was spotting for us tonight. Henry Geedy was out battling the elements with the camera work. Caleb Bryce was also out there tonight, up on the roof of the press box here. And Chris Martinez, of course, always does such yeoman work as our statistician. So for my partner, Kevin Fitzsimmons, I'm Tom Walsh. Thank you for being with us tonight on a late Friday night. We only got half the game in, 31-6. New Orleans Jesuit, your final score. Babe Laufenberg and I, next Friday night from Highlander Stadium. Until then, have a great week and go Rangers.